Yeah, welcome in everybody to another day. Ooh, I also need okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for another day on the internet. It looks like the cam has gone down. Just give me 1 second. There we are. How is everybody doing today? Welcome in. I know we've got a full, I believe, 0 viewers at the moment, which to any starting streamer is a little discouraging, but we'll get into it. Welcome in. Either way. So today, we are going to be going through the regular news, but also a little bit later, we'll actually be doing a content creation stream and talking about how to build all of this. How to build a YouTube channel, how to start streaming, how to create stories, how to do. You know what they say, if you can't do, teach. And I've spent probably 10 years of my life learning the ins and outs, all the little industry secrets, which I hope to share with you and have you be a little more successful with those secrets, at least. So, of course, today we're going to be starting with just some regular old news. I don't know why it's not. I think that kills it. We'll be focusing on tech news. It is really hard to go over international news. I think this is one of the big things that's being a large hurdle for me, and of course, reviewing and going over content on the internet, because it's a lot of stuff that I don't know. Names and places I have not spent any time studying. I am a uncultured BC Canadian, and I don't really have an opinion on the rest of the world. If somebody does wish for me to go over larger world events, and or if we actually see something that I find is going to be really, really interesting, or is actually going to be something that potentially affects yours or my own life, then I'll go over it and take a look. But for now, let's jump right in to the news. What I'll also be doing today is taking notes and let me just see what no, that's not what I want. Discard, cancel, gone. We will be slowly taking notes on the different things that we see for the end of the section, end of the news section summary. I think we need to bring this music down just a wee bit, even though it's a nice tune. All right. So, starting with the top tech news, according to, well, actually, 1 second here. Let me just, all right. We're going to be going over the top tech news by GPT for today, or at least for the past few days. I've gone out and asked GPT, please go find the tech news from the past 4 days, and it has gone through and summarized a few events. I've found over time, GPT is getting way better at giving us a good summary on the day's events. And I think this is what we're going to be focusing on to start, and then building out and looking at every individual article in its own frame, in its own section. So, starting out, we're just going to do a quick read of what GPT comes up with, and then potentially too, we'll take a look and see. We'll have some fun with it at the start here, guys, just to see what type of summary of the world it can put together. So, number one is Google's AI chatbot Bard upgrade. Google has significantly upgraded its AI chatbot Bard with Gemini, Google's next generation AI model. Now, of course, we are using an AI model right now, and from what I found and what I've seen around the internet, it is one of the best at the moment. and there's not really anybody else that competes with it. We will have to try out Google Bard's new upgraded chatbot at some point. Security concerns with mobile password managers. There's a growing concern that mobile password managers might be exposing users' credentials. I have never trusted mobile password managers. A lot of people do, and it doesn't make sense to me that you trust a lot of these third-party systems to keep track of your information. Now, there should, like, I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but really there should be institutional standards for password management that the average person should be using. There should be no such thing as external third-party companies that take care of your passwords for you. Now, should or shouldn't is one thing, but we'll take a look at that article and see what it says later. Meta's AI-powered image generator, Meta. Okay, wow. Meta's AI image generator. Meta has launched a standalone AI-powered image generator, which we'll actually be checking out in a small bit. We have a tab up there for it. U.S. government and mobile users spying. A U.S. senator has warned that governments are spying on Apple and Google users via push notifications. I have noticed an increase in push notifications recently. I don't know if it's the same thing, but very interested in that. U.S. government hacked. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, reported the U.S. government agency was hacked due to the use of end-of-life software. Health data security breach. Millions of patent scans and health records are reportedly being leaked online due to a bug in decades-old protocol. Tesla Cybertruck features. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has described the new Tesla Cybertruck as a futuristic vehicle that is super fast and bulletproof. This vehicle was recently showcased and analyzed for its design and audience suitability. AI developments by DeepMind. DeepMind has developed AI with social learning capabilities. I don't know, we'll take a look at that. I think GPT already is relatively social. I think it's just limited. We've told it not to be social. But we'll see what they mean by social capabilities. AI's image generation environmental impact. New research shows that AI image generation contributes to the carbon footprint. Literally everything does. Gaia benchmark tool for AI assistant. AI researchers have introduced Gaia, a new benchmark testing tool for general AI assistants. The GTA 6 trailer released. Rockstar Games has released the first trailer for GTA 6, which is set in Vice City and features a female protagonist for the first time. The game promises an immersive experience and is scheduled for release in 2025. I find this really weird, even though GTA is kind of a rags to riches story. It's all about people being shitty people. So we'll see what the internet, I've seen a little bit so far, what the internet's reaction is to this. OnePlus 12 launch. OnePlus 12 has launched the OnePlus 12 in China, featuring Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, a 2K AMOLED display, and up to 24 gigabytes of RAM. Wow, that's like a content creator's media production system. Oh my god, guys, I'm sorry, my mic stand right now is not staying up. There we go. NoiseFit Endeavor smartwatch, or NoiseFit. Noise has introduced a new rugged smartwatch called NoiseFit Endeavor, designed for outdoor enthusiasts. MetaQuest update. The latest update for MetaQuest removes the ability for users to check smartphone notifications while using VR headsets. That's more of a political one, I imagine, than anything else. Or a licensing thing. IBM's quantum computing advances. IBM debuted the IBM Quantum Heron, its most performant quantum processor, and the IBM Quantum System 2, a modular quantum computer. These developments are a part of IBM's extended roadmap to advance quantum computing capabilities. Okay. Can you give a news summary of all of that? Newscaster's summary of all that? Let's just see what comes up. All right. Probably going to read the exact headlines altogether, but we'll take a look. Good evening. Wow. Good evening. We start today's tech news with Google AI, the company that has upgraded. Oh my God. Wow. Let's try this again. Good evening. We start tonight's tech news with Google's AI, as the company has upgraded its chatbot Bard with a new model called Gemini. In security news, concerns are rising about mobile password managers potentially exposing user credentials. Meta has made a huge leap in AI, launching a new standalone AI-powered image generator. In government-related news, a U.S. senator has warned of spying on mobile users by governments, and CISA reports a government agency was hacked due to outdated software. In a startling revelation, millions of patient health records are being leaked online due to an old protocol bug. Switching gears to automotive, Tesla's CEO Elon Musk showcased the new Cybertruck, boasting its futuristic design and bulletproof capabilities. On the AI front, DeepMind developed an AI with social learning skills, but researchers also points to AI image generation's growing carbon footprint. Meanwhile, AI researchers have introduced Gaia, a new benchmark tool for general AI assistance. In gaming, Rockstar Games has released its first trailer for GTA 6, set in Vice City and featuring a female protagonist. Tech giant OnePlus has launched its latest smartphone, the OnePlus 12, in China, while Noise introduced a new rugged smartphone designed for outdoor activities. In an unexpected move, MetaQuest Update removes the ability to check smartphone notifications in its VR headsets. Finally, in quantum computing, IBM unveils IBM Quantum Heron, the most advanced quantum processor, and IBM Quantum System 2, a modular quantum computer, marketing sufficient strides in the field. That's all for today's tech news. Stay tuned for more updates. There we go. All right, we'll take a look at the individual articles here. Okay. Meta launches a standalone AI-powered image generator. Not to be outdone by Google Gemini launch, Meta's rolling out a new standalone generative AI experience on the web, Imagine with Meta, that allows users to create images by describing them in natural language. Similar to OpenAI's DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion, Imagine with Meta, which is powered by Meta's existing EMU image generation model, creates high-resolution images from text prompts. It's free to use, at least for now, for users in the US, and generates 4 images per prompt. We've enjoyed hearing from people about how they're using Imagine, Meta AI's text-to-image generation feature, to make fun and creative content in chats. Today, we're expanding access to Imagine outside chats, Meta writes in a blog post published this morning. While our messaging experience is designed for more playful and back-and-forth interactions, you can now create free images on the web too. Now, Meta's image generation tools have landed the company in hot water in the recent past. See Meta's racially based AI sticker generator, which makes this writer wonder whether there's safeguards in Imagine with Meta to prevent history from repeating itself. We weren't given the chance to test this tool prior to its launch, but rest assured we will be keeping a close eye as Imagine with Meta reaches more users. They won't be live at the start, but Meta pledged to begin adding watermarks to its content generated by Imagine with Meta in the coming weeks for increased transparency and traceability. There's already a visible watermark. The watermarks which are invisible will be generated with an AI model and detectable with corresponding model. Meta says, no word on whether detection model will be made public at some point. Probably not. Some form of encryption can be placed in the AI itself. Let's take a look. I actually have Imagine with Meta AI right here, and we can compare and contrast it up against something like Midjourney. Let me pull Midjourney up here so we all have an idea about what's going on. Okay, so we have Midjourney on the left, and we have Meta AI on the right. Let's start with something simple. A orange cat sitting on a Southern American window. Okay, we'll imagine something like this. Let's go. Okay, I messed that up. Spelling is probably... Yeah, American's correct. We're good. Log in to generate. Wait, do I have to? Oh, we don't have access to this at all, it looks like. Well, doesn't work right now, guys. Sorry, I cannot show it off, so it looks like right now Midjourney is the winner on that one. Okay. Your mobile password manager might be exposing your credentials. Let's take a look here. Alright, your mobile password might be exposing your credentials. A number of popular mobile managers are inadvertently spilling user credentials due to a vulnerability in the autofill functionality of Android apps. The vulnerability dubbed autospill can expose users' saved credentials from mobile password managers by circumventing Android's secure autofill mechanism, according to the university researchers at the IIT Hyderabad who discovered the vulnerability and presented their research at Black Hat Europe this week. The researchers Ankit Gangwal, Shubham Singh, Abhijit Sarvista, sorry about those names, guys, found that when Android apps loads a login page in WebView, the pre-installed engine from Google lets developers display web content in-app without launching a web browser. And an autofill request is generated. Password managers can get disoriented about where they should target the user's login information, and instead expose their credentials to the underlying app native fields, they said. Let's say you are trying to log into your favorite music app on your mobile device, and you use the option login via Google or Facebook. The music app will open Google or Facebook login page itself inside the web view, Gangwal explained to TechCrunch prior to Black Hat presentation on Wednesday. When a password manager is involved to autofill credentials, ideally it should autofill only into Google or Facebook pages that has been loaded, but we found the autofill operation could accidentally expose credentials to the base app. Gangwal notes that the ramifications of this vulnerability, particularly in scenario where the base app is malicious, are significant. He added, even without phishing, any malicious app that asks you to log in via their site, like Google or Facebook, can automatically access sensitive information. The researchers tested autospill vulnerability using some of the most popular password managers, including 1Password, LastPass, Keeper, and OnPass, on new and up-to-date Android devices. They found that most apps were vulnerable to credential leakage, even with JavaScript injection disabled. When JavaScript injection was enabled, all password managers were susceptible to the autospill vulnerability. Gangwal says he alerted Google and the affected password managers to the flaw. 1Password chief technology officer Pedro Kanahudi told TechCrunch that the company has identified and is working on a fix for autospill. While the fix will further strengthen our security posture, 1Password's autofill function has been designed to require the user to take explicit action, says Kahanuti. The update will provide additional protection by preventing native fields from being filled with credentials that are only intended for Android's web view. Keeper CTO Craig Lurie said in remarks shared with TechCrunch that the company was notified about the potential vulnerability, but it did not say if it had made any fixes. We request a video from the researcher to demonstrate the reported issue. Based upon our analysis, we determined the researcher had first installed a malicious application and subsequently accepted prompt by Keeper to force the association of the malicious Keeper to a Keeper password record, said Lurie. Keeper said it safeguards in place to protect users against automatically filling credentials into an untrusted application or a site that was not explicitly authorized by the users, and recommended that the researcher submitted his report to Google, since it is specifically related to the Android platform. Google and OnPass did not respond to TechCrunch's questions. LastPass spokesperson Elizabeth Bassler did not comment by press time. Gangwal tells TechCrunch the researchers are now exploring the possibility of an attacker potentially extracting credentials from the app to web view. The team is also investigating whether the vulnerability can be replicated in iOS. So for those unfamiliar to what's going on, I'm going to simplify it quite a bit. And if there's any, which there are probably not, any like security researchers that end up watching this, please know that this is going to be an extreme simplification. So really what you do is you have your phone. Okay, well, let's try that again. You have your app. Okay, this is your phone's app, which could be LastPass. Sorry, LastPass. Even if you guys aren't totally affected by it or whatever, we saw your name in there. So there's LastPass. Then there is the website or the login service. Login. Okay. And then there is your phone's hardware. Okay. Phone. Your phone's hardware itself. And that means that the memory, what memory is running inside your device, when your device is on, whatever it's holding on to in its active living space, that is what's in your phone. Okay, so there's data in LastPass, there's data fields in the login field, and then there's your phone. Now, normally, what should happen if you go to log into something, you're on your phone, and you go to log in, if you use the standard login with Google credentials in a way, it should just use your Google credentials. It'll actually ping out to Google and then have you log in based on whether or not you're logged in on the rest of your phone. I know it's a terrible simplification, but you might be logged into your phone for one reason. Actually, no, this is a better way of putting it. You go to log in, your phone sends information out, the login checks your phone to be logged into whatever service, and then your phone confirms it, and then you're logged into the device. What happens, what seems like it happens, is that while your phone places a request to the login screen going, hey, I would like to log in, even though you set it up so that it immediately logs in from whatever setup you have right there, LastPass is actually feeding that information straight to the phone instead of to the login screen. It's a terrible simplification, I know, but that is what's going on here. So that's the security issue, because your phone could be running a malicious app. It could have some kind of malicious system. The login system is really the only system that needs your password information. So that's what the security vulnerability is. Who is at fault? Who knows? Because it's a communication system between the different applications and the phone, or the operating system, and even the login services of whatever system like Google you're using. So no answer to it directly, but just be careful, guys. Keep in mind, if you ever write down a password on a system that is not the direct login of the website that you are on, you are exposing your password to the internet. You're exposing your password to the rest of the world. So just be very, very careful with that. Oh, come on. Do we have to like sit here and I think we have to sit here and watch this run. I'm pretty sure if you tab out now with GPT, it doesn't continue the process. It has to have like an active connection between your system. Hydrozone, wait a minute, what the heck? I didn't even see that on Kick? On Kick? Whoa, that's a, I did not see that. How long have you been there, Hydro? Welcome in. Over on Kick. We gotta give him a follow. Oh, crap. Oh no, I screwed up my my window. 1 second here. Scene collection, docs, Kick chat. Oh my gosh. That's a name I haven't seen in ages. Welcome in, Hydro. Boom. Follow. Bam and bam. Alright. Not to distract myself, guys, this is a very serious news stream. So we're going to keep going here. So we've tried Meta's AI image generator. We've taken a look at the security concerns with the mobile passwords. We haven't taken a peek at Google AI chatbot Bard upgrade. I don't know if there's any more in the article here. Let's dig into it and see. Did I already read this? No, I didn't. Okay. Google AI's chatbot Bard gets a big upgrade with Gemini, Google's next-gen AI model. Google Bard, the company's generative AI chatbot and ChatGPT rival, is getting an update today that the company claims will significantly enhance its capabilities. The company says Bard will now be powered by Gemini, Google's newest and most advanced AI model, giving the chatbot more advanced reasoning, planning, and understanding and other capabilities. Gemini comes in 3 sizes, Ultra, Pro, and Nano, allowing it to run on anything ranging from mobile devices to data centers. The rollout of Gemini to Bard will take place over 2 phases. Initially, Bard will be upgraded with a significantly tuned version of Gemini Pro. Next year, Google will introduce Bard Advanced, which will give users access to the best AI model, starting with Gemini Ultra. The version of Bard with Gemini Pro will first become available in English in more than 170 countries and territories worldwide, with more languages and countries, including the EU and UK, soon. Before launching to the public, Gemini was run through a series of industry standard benchmarks, and in 6 out of 8 of those benchmarks, Gemini outperformed GPT 3.5, which is interesting because apparently GPT-4 is its core is GPT 3.5, so maybe it is getting better than GPT. Might have to try it out. Google says that includes better performance on MMLU, or the Massive Multitasking Language Understanding Tasks, which is one of the key standards for measuring large AI models. It also outperformed on the GSM-8K, which measures grade school math reasoning. However, as TechCrunch Kyle Wiggers pointed out, GPT 3.5 is over a year old, which makes this launch feel more like a catch-up rather than outperforming. The improvements will make Bard more capable in terms of things like understanding and summarizing content, reasoning, brainstorming, writing and planning, the company notes. This is the biggest single quality improvement of Bard since we've launched, says Sissy Hasayo, VP and GM of Assistant and Bard at Google, when introducing the Bard upgrade in a press briefing. Gemini Pro will power text-based prompts in Bard to start, Hasayo said, but will expand multimodal support, meaning text and other images or other modalities in the coming months. In 2024, Bard Advanced will debut, Gemini Ultra, as it's called. The AI can understand and act on different types of information, including text, images, audio, and video, and code. It has multimodal reasoning capabilities. Gemini Ultra can also understand, explain, and generate high-quality code in popular programming languages, Google says, in addition to understanding audio and video content. The upgrade seems to be one to wait for in that case. The company says it will launch a trusted tester program for Bard Advanced before opening it up more broadly to users early next year. In addition, Google will be putting Bard Advanced through additional safety checks prior to its launch. The update follows a number of other improvements to Bard since its debut just 8 months ago. In recent months, the AI experience has been improved with features like the ability to answer questions about YouTube videos, as well as tap into users' Google apps like Gmail, Docs, and Drive, and more, plus other Google services like Google Flights and Hotels. It can also double-check its answers to help determine if the AI is hallucinating. That is, when it provides a response based on false information. Now with Gemini, we're one step closer to bringing the best AI collaborator in the world, Hasayo noted. That at least seemed more honest as an admission that Bard isn't quite there yet. Bard with Gemini is available today. Bard.google.com. Let's actually take a look into Bard. Bard isn't supported this account. Google Workspace account. I have to have access enabled. Let's just switch accounts. All right. What am I looking at? A conversation tool. Bard isn't currently supported in my country. Wow. My VPN in this is broken. I do have to turn on my VPN before I start streaming, guys, because I believe it does kill the stream when I start doing it. This is really, really tragic. The life of a Canadian. What other news do we have today? Did I do my pictures? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's what I want. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Ooh. Thank God Thank God, Tiss. All right. What other tech news do we have? It's all on this website. Okay. Where is that article? Mobile password, layoffs, tune in, regulatory, meta launches. That's the senator warning. Where is it? That's the patient. Let's do the patient one. Millions of patients. Okay, one second. Sorry, guys. Here. Millions of patient scans and health records spilling online thanks to decades-old protocol bug. Researchers say they found exposed patient imaging as well as names, addresses, and phone numbers. Thousands of exposed servers are spilling medical records and personal health information of millions of patients due to security weaknesses in decades-old security industry standards designed for storing and sharing medical images, researchers have warned. This standard, known as Digital Imaging and Communications in Medicine, or DICOM for short, is the internationally recognized format for medical imaging. DICOM is used as the file format for CT scans and X-ray images to ensure interoperability between different imaging systems and software. DICOM images are typically stored in a picture storage and sharing system, or PACS server, allowing medical practitioners to store patient images in a single file and share records with other medical practices. But as discovered by Applite, a Germany-based cybersecurity consultancy specializing in digital healthcare, security shortcomings in DICOM may mean that medical facilities have unintentionally made private data and medical histories of millions of patients accessible to the open internet. Applite's research into DICOM systems, shared with TechCrunch ahead of its presentation at the Black Hat Europe this week, has discovered more than 3,800 servers across more than 110 countries, exposing the personal information of some 16 million patients. Applite said they found patient names, genders, addresses, and phone numbers, and in some cases social security numbers. The researchers, which scanned the intercom for DICOM servers for more than 6 months, found that these servers are also exposing more than 4.3 million health records, which can include the results of an examination, when the examination took place, and the referring patient's or physician's details. Most of the exposed servers, more than 8 million records, are based in the US, followed by a 9.6 million records in India and 7.3 million found in South Africa. Applite said many of the US-based servers are hosting data from medical practices located outside of the United States. Applied said that many of the US-based servers are hosting data from... Oh, okay. Yeah. Sina Yazimir, a senior IT security consultant with Applite, told TechCrunch that more than 70% of these exposed DICOM servers are hosted by cloud agents like Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure. The rest of DICOM servers in medical offices are DICOM servers in medical offices connected to the internet. Isadon Mir said that fewer than 1% of DICOM services on the internet are using effective security measures. When we did this, we realized the medical organizations had started the shift towards the cloud and modernization. Big players went to the cloud because they could afford it and have the infrastructure, Yazanamir told TechCrunch, but this digitalization forces small businesses that don't have the resources or budget just one DSL line to catch up. A legacy problem. The security shortcomings associated with DICOM are nothing new in 2020. TechCrunch reported implementation of this decades-old protocol at hospitals, doctors' offices, and radiology centers led to the exposure of millions of medical images containing the personal health information of patients. Now, almost 4 years later, the problem shows no signs of abating. Worse, Applite said it has discovered a new attack vector that could allow hackers to tamper with data within existing medical images, which the company will demonstrate at Black Hat on Wednesday. When we analyzed the servers, we found that 39 million of the health records are at risk of tampering, Yazimir said. Because of the nature of the medical records, you cannot trust them unless it goes through a whole process of manual verification. If an attacker tampers with the data, these records are likely useless, Yazimir said. They can even inject the false sign of illnesses. The number of leaked records is increasing every day, Yazimir told TechCrunch, as more hospitals move to the cloud and more records are generated. But the wider program is not easy to fix. Yazimir said that while DICOM has security measures requiring their use could break many legacy products and systems. The Medical Imaging and Technology Alliance, which oversees DICOM standard, did not respond to TechCrunch questions. Of course, they are not going to respond to questions at all. That is, they probably don't know much about it, and they're going to have to go look at some security professionals to figure out what and where this information or how this information is going to be dealt with, because I cannot imagine. I have a hard enough time upgrading this machine in the back behind me there and keeping that up to date with a Minecraft server on it. I couldn't imagine medical records. All right, sorry guys, 1 second here. I'm just gonna grab some water that I can drink. I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, we have a drink. We are back. Sorry about that, everybody. My throat was starting to hurt. Okay. Okay. All right. Is this all just from the same thing too? What do we want to take a look? AI generations impact. Where? That's the Cybertruck. That's the Cybertruck article. Did it mess up the sources? Yeah, it did. It did. Okay. Let's take a look at the Cybertruck news. The new Tesla Cybertruck is super fast and bulletproof, but who is it for? An expert analyzes the design, which is the big question always. I've always been wondering, who is the Cybertruck for? Probably for the tech nerd who doesn't mind spending a whole bunch of money on something and looking really weird. The tech autist. I don't know how else to say it. Like, doesn't care about what anybody else says. Broadcasting live on X, formerly known as Twitter, last Thursday, Tesla's CEO and ex-owner Elon Musk said that the Tesla Cybertruck is a car of the future that looks like the future. That's a little, The design is bold, not just due to its unusual shape and the stainless steel finish, but also in the product offerings. The stainless steel panels and finish are reminiscent of the ill-fated DeLorean DMC-12 that, while beloved for its starring role in Back to the Future franchise, was otherwise disastrous for the company and rather lackluster car with many issues. The mic, I gotta get a smoother mic stand. The angular shape, flat surfaces, and triangle roof of the Cybertruck look nothing like anything else currently on sale. The vehicle is very different from the traditional Tesla lineup, which are more curved and jelly mold-like in their appearance. This means they're highly aerodynamic with reduced drag to maximize their electric range. Inconsistent brand identity. Automotive manufacturers typically have a design language that underscores all of their vehicles, clearly indicating its brand. This could be significant with a consistent grille design or the shape and form of their cars. Take the kidney-shaped grille on BMW's or Mazda's Kodo design philosophy, for example, which aims to evoke mention even when the car has stopped. However, Tesla seems to have designed the Cybertruck to bear no resemblance to any of their offerings. Externally, at least, there's no clear brand consistency. Sure, pickups often look different to cars, made by the same company due to their differing functions. However, even the Tesla Semi, a heavy goods vehicle, retains the jelly molding style and associated aerodynamic benefits of the Tesla cars. Considering the aesthetics of the existing Tesla lineup, the Cybertruck really doesn't fit in. So, if Tesla vehicle designs have traditionally been about efficiency, what is the goal for the Cybertruck? In design, there's a well-known saying that form follows function. In Tesla's lineup to date, their design language clearly speaks to efficiency and dynamism. However, rather the surprising outcome of the Cybertruck delivery event launch on November 30th was the admission by Musk that the angular shape had largely been decided by the material choice, high-strength stainless steel, understood to be 30x coil-rolled stainless steel. This choice has apparently restricted the manufacturing process, resulting in a flatter angular form. Why choose a material that's more difficult to form using traditional processes that compromise your design language and aerodynamic efficiency? The takeaway from the delivery event is that the material has enabled Tesla to make a truck that is bulletproof, which the live stream to great lengths went to demonstrate with the use of a submachine gun. Do we have... Okay. So if form follows function, the key function has determined that the design of the Cybertruck is a requirement to be bulletproof. for a public-facing consumer vehicle, that's not rather surprising. That's a rather unique, surprising selling point, especially when taken in the context of Musk's "why not" reasoning, which he followed up with the rather worried statement: "The apocalypse can come along at any moment, and here at Tesla, we have the best in apocalypse technology." While much of Tesla's PR relates to Cybertruck's robustness and security concerns around safety, mean it will never be able to be sold in Europe, in its launch form at least. This is due to a lack of pedestrian safety. At the launch event, Musk said of driving the truck, if you have an argument with another car, you will win. The Cybertruck appears to focus very much on protecting its occupants, while negating the advances in road safety that consider vulnerable road users such as pedestrians, cyclists, motorists, or even other vehicles. The Cybertruck weighs at 6,843 kilograms. Most non-EV pickups weigh less than 3,000, and the average car weighs less than half of this again. The higher mass would mean that any collisions with the vehicle could be very serious. The high bonnet bumper means that a pedestrian would likely be hit by the ultra-hard stainless steel structure of the bumper and bodywork, where the grille would traditionally be. Tesla did not respond for a request to comment on safety of the Cybertruck. In contrast, a typical European hatchback is designed so the pedestrian would fall onto the bonnet, which is made to deform and absorb the impact on the pedestrian's head. Bonnets of cars are often made from lighter, less dense materials, such as aluminum, for increased pedestrian safety. While this design feature means the Cybertruck cannot be sold in Europe, it can be sold in North America, Canada, and Mexico. That's because in these markets, it falls under a different classification of light medium duty truck, meaning it doesn't have to adhere to passenger car pedestrian safety legislation. This is a shame, as Tesla has recently invested in pedestrian-focused technology for its cars. The Model 3, for example, features a detection system and an active bonnet that lifts to reduce the impact force of a pedestrian in a frontal collision. In its design, the aesthetics and safety considerations of the Cybertruck had diverged from Tesla's previous values. This begs the question: beyond the initial early adopters, celebrities, and influencers, who is this truck for? Surely it won't appeal to the same core base of existing environmentally conscious Tesla customers, and a bulletproof, go anywhere, do anything tank with the ability to reach 60 miles an hour in 2.6 seconds is quite a tool in the wrong hands. Here's what I'm thinking. Grand Theft Auto 6. So GTA 6 recently has just released its trailer, and there are so many people that are going over every little tiny detail, every single pixel. Let's take a look. GTA 6. Trailer. Can I just get the trailer? That is it right here. All right. 1 minute and 30. This video has 111 million views, and it was released 1 day ago. So you're probably not seeing it here for the very first time, for sure. I almost guaranteed you're not seeing it here the very first time. But let's give it a watch.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
There was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold, but love is a long, long road. Yeah, love is a long, long
Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
Maybe it's just me, but the vibes are really weird in this one. Okay, like I really like, to me, all of this start is great. Like this entire first section, despite people on Twitter complaining about every little tiny detail and
She cared about me.
not looking, I don't know, there's a lot of criticism on this. But to me, this looks like Grand Theft Auto. This is a Grand Theft Auto
The
game.
way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold, but love is a long, long road. Yeah.
And I've seen clips where a lot of this imagery is stuff that has actually happened IRL. There are some famous images and clips on this.
Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
I like it. It looks really good. This vibe though is really weird. This last little section. Now, I know for sure people are going to be like, "Oh, female protagonist, that's the biggest issue." No. There's not much storytelling going on here, which are like, if you compare it to like GTA 5 trailer. Let's watch the GTA 5 trailer.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather. Or the... I don't know, that thing. That magic. You see it in the movies. I wanted to retire from what I was doing, you know? From that line of work. Be a good guy for once. A family man. So, I bought a big house. Came here, put my feet up, and thought I'd be a dad like all the other dads.
Like we already have like a story going, right? Which I understand having a GTA trailer with just a bunch of crazy stuff is pretty funny, but we're establishing like what's going to be happening. And a lot of GTA is not like the people don't want to be criminals, but there's a sense or an aura of like, oh, we have to be criminals. I don't know. It's a weird. I never actually beat all of the GTA series, so you can. For those who are experts on GTA, feel free to tell me how wrong I am. But just keep watching.
My kids would be like the kids on TV. We'd play ball and sit in the sun, but well, you know how it is.
Because we have a frame of somebody trying to talk about being a father and try to talk about how living a normal life, and then they're showing all the crazy stuff in the background. If I did the GTA 4 trailer, number 2, we want number 1, we want the release trailer. Very dark. Maybe they are just showing off the city here. I'm not really sure. I can't remember this trailer at all.
Life is
There we go.
complicated.
Yeah.
I killed people,
You go.
smuggled people, sold people. Perhaps here, things will be different.
I'll be honest, I think the recent Grand Theft Auto trailer is just memes. It's all just memes, which is why it has so many views. GTA 6. Oops. GTA 6. Like, there's a reason why it has so many views, because memes generally get the most views. Very excited for it, though. It's gonna be an excellent game.
There was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me.
The more I watch it, the less realistic it looks, though. One of the big things that I noticed is how fast the camera moves.
She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then.
How quick every frame is, so it does make it look a lot higher quality than it actually is. But the animation is
Well, look who's back.
well, look who's back. All right. What else do we have? Anything big? What about IBM? Okay. This is going to be a little bit of a technical read, but we're going to do it anyways because I'm really interested in quantum computing. And if you're not interested, well, I don't really care. No, we'll give it a go anyways. IBM debuts next generation quantum processor as IBM Quantum Systems 2. Or is it? Ooh. That water that I drank is making me burpy. One sec. All right. IBM debuts next generation quantum processor, and IBM Quantum Systems 2 extends roadmap to advance era of quantum utility. New York, December 4th. PR Newswire. Today at the annual IBM Quantum Summit in New York, IBM, and when I say IBM, debuted IBM Quantum Heron, the first in a new series of utility scale quantum processors, with an architecture engineered over the past 4 years to deliver IBM's highest performance metrics and lowest error rates in any IBM quantum processor to date. IBM also unveiled IBM Quantum Systems 2, the company's first modular quantum computer and cornerstone of IBM quantum-centric supercomputing architecture. The first IBM Quantum Systems 2, located in Yorktown Heights, New York, has been in operations with 3 IBM Heron processors and supporting control electronics. With this critical foundation now in place, along with other breakthroughs in quantum hardware, theory, and software, the company is extending its IBM quantum development roadmap to 2033, with new targets to significantly advance the quality of gate operations. Doing so would increase the size of quantum circuits able to be run and help realize the full potential of quantum computing at scale. We are firmly within the era which quantum computers are being used as a tool to explore a new frontier of science, says Dario Gil, IBM SVP and Director of Research. As we continue to advance how quantum systems can scale and deliver value through modular architectures, we will further increase the quality of utility-scale quantum technology stack and put it into the hands of our users and partners who will push the boundaries of more complex problems. As demonstrated by IBM earlier this year on a 127-qubit IBM Quantum Eagle processor, IBM Quantum Systems can now serve as a scientific tool to explore utility-scale classes of problems in chemistry, physics, and material beyond brute force classical simulation of quantum mechanics. Since that demonstration, leading researchers, scientists, and engineers from organizations including the U.S. Department of Energy, Oregon's National Laboratory, the University of Tokyo, University of Washington, University of Cologne, Harvard University, Quedma Algorithmic, UC Berkeley, Q Control, what was it? Fundacon, Ikerbazuk, oh geez, Donista International Physics Center, and the University of Basque Country, as well as IBM, have expanded demonstrations of utility-scale quantum computing to confirm its value in exploring uncharted computational territory. This includes experiments already running on IBM's Quantum Heron 133-qubit processor, which IBM is making available for users today via the cloud. IBM Heron is the first in IBM's new class of performant processors, with significantly improved error rates, offering 5 times improvement over previous best records set by IBM Eagle. Additional IBM Heron processors will join IBM's industry-leading utility-scale fleet of systems over the course of next year.
Introducing
the
IBM Quantum System 2, the world's first modular utility-scale quantum computer system. Quantum System 2 was designed to tackle complex problems that lie far beyond the reach of today's classical supercomputers. It stands 15 feet tall and operates in a near-perfect vacuum at temperatures colder than deep space. Initially powered by 3 133-qubit Heron processors, Quantum System 2 is fully upgradable to the growing line of utility-scale QPUs that IBM will be releasing over the next 5 years. This is the world's first modular utility-scale quantum system.
I can imagine there's not a single speck of dust in that whole building.
Size.
Not a single speck
By the
of
end
dust.
of 2024, each of the 3 Heron processors in Quantum System 2 will be able to process a remarkable 5,000 operations in a single quantum circuit. But the real triumph of Quantum System 2 is its modular design. Our new quantum coupling technology will allow multiple Quantum System 2s to connect together to create systems capable of running 100 million operations in a single quantum circuit. Continuing down this path, we plan to realize a system capable of running 1 billion operations in a single quantum circuit by 2033. That's why we call Quantum System 2 the building block of quantum-centric supercomputing. Today, our clients and partners are already using our 100-plus qubit systems to advance science, surpassing brute force methods deployed on the world's most powerful classical supercomputers. And soon, they expect quantum applications offering unprecedented business value. Our mission is to bring useful quantum computing to the world, and it starts with Quantum System 2.
Okay. We just see sleek outer hardware. That's basically all they can do. So, IBM Quantum System 2 is the is the foundation of IBM's next generation quantum computing system architecture. It combines scalable cryogenic infrastructure and classical runtime servers with modular qubit control electronics. The new system is a building block for IBM's vision of quantum-centric supercomputing. This architecture combines quantum communication and computation assisted by classical computation resources and leverages a middleware layer to appropriately integrate quantum and classical workflows. As a part of the new expanded 10-year IBM quantum development roadmap, IBM plans for the system to also house IBM's future generations of quantum processors. As also a part of this roadmap, these future processors are intended to gradually improve the quality of operations they can run to significantly extend the complexity and size of workloads they are capable of handling. Qiskit and generative AI to increase ease of quantum software programming? Is this a new article? No, this is the end of this. Okay. Today, IBM also detailing plans for a new generation of its software stack, within which Qiskit 1.0 will be a pivot point defined by stability and speed. Additionally, and with the goal of democratization, quantum computing development, IBM is announcing Qiskit patterns. Quiskit patterns will serve as a mechanism to allow quantum developers to more easily create code. It's based on a collection of tools to simply map classical problems, optimize them to quantum circuits using Quiskit, executing those circuits using Quiskit runtime, and then post-processing the results. With Quiskit patterns combined with quantum serverless, users will be able to build, deploy, and execute workflows integrating classical and quantum computation in different environments such as cloud or on-prem scenarios. All these tools will be providing building blocks for users to build and run quantum algorithms more easily. Additionally, IBM is pioneering the use of generative AI for quantum code programming through watsonx, IBM's enterprising AI platform. IBM will integrate generative AI availability through watsonx to help automate the development of quantum code for Quiskit. This will be achieved through the fine-tuning of IBM Granite model series. Generative AI and quantum computing are both reaching an inflection point, presenting us with the opportunity to use the trusted foundation model framework of watsonx to simplify how quantum algorithms can be built for utility-scale exploration, said Jay Gambetta, Vice President and IBM Fellow at IBM. This is a significant step towards broadening how quantum computers can be accessed and put in the hands of users as an instrument for scientific exploration. With advanced hardware across IBM's global fleet of 100+ qubit systems, as well as easy-to-use software that IBM is debuting in Quiskit, users and computational scientists can now obtain reliable results from quantum systems. They map increasingly larger and more complex problems to quantum circuits. About IBM. I just talked about IBM there. Okay. So there looks like there is a lot of upgrades with quantum computing. It doesn't seem anything functional yet for the average user, but definitely they're learning ways. Basically, the summary is they're learning ways to take different modular parts of a quantum computing system and connect them together, basically like networking. Like somebody taking a whole bunch of computers together and making them work. I just want to take a look here 1 second, guys. I think my... There we go. We're just gonna reset the caches on those. Okay. All right, we have dug through the vast majority of the news today. Let's just do a quick look into Google News. And see if there's anything huge in the world news today. Israel Hamas, Las Vegas shooting, another one. McCarthy, Biden. COP28, what? Yeah, nothing big in the news today. Nothing crazy. Just people yelling at each other. Russia's Putin meets Saudis. Venezuela moves to claim Guyana-controlled area. Okay. Entertainment, technology. What do we got? Digital Foundry, Google's Gemini, Call of Duty. Baldur's Gate player stats, so crazy completion rates. What is this? Baldur's Gate 3 stats. It should be in just chatting. There we go. I agree. Baldur's Gate 3 player stats show crazy completion rates, or show a... Wow, let's try that again. Baldur's Gate 3 player stats show crazy completion rate, most popular romance, class, and more. Baldur's Gate 3 has been out for 3 months now, and developer Larian has published some mind-bending player statistics to celebrate. As you may already know, this is a big RPG, featuring God knows how many unique paths through its story. And so these stats make for especially interesting reading if you're familiar with the game. We've gone ahead and compiled the craziest stats into the following list. We will take a look at the actual images down below here, but let's read it out. 1.3 million players have completed the game, which is honestly astounding considering its overall length. A whopping 94% of players create a custom character instead of playing as one of the game's pre-made cast. One of the small percentage of players who actually chose to play as pre-made characters, Gale is the most popular, followed by Asterion, Karlach, Shadowheart, Weil, and Lizelle in that order. A combination of 8,196 years has been spent in the character creator. Picking a class is hard. Paladin is the most popular class, followed by Sorcerer, Fighter, Rogue, Barbarian, Warlock, Wizard, Bard, Druid, Monk, Ranger, and Cleric in that order. Elf is the most popular race, followed by Human, Half-Elf, Tiefling, Drow, Dragonborn, Half-Orc, Githyanki, Dwarf, Gnome, Halfling in that order. Shadowheart is the most popular romantic interest, with 51% of players reaching the end of her romance arc, followed by Karlach and Lizelle. When presented with a choice, 66% of players have asked Haslin not to be in his bear form. That Players have spent a combination of 51,662 years playing Baldur's Gate. Let's take a look at this tweet. Or do they just like completely Oh, what? In total, players have spent a combined, 8,196 years in the character creator, but 1.24 million players have been transformed into a sentient trees wheel. Spoilers, maybe? People like Gale, most played origin character in the game. I guess because he's got a lot of magic tools and he's really powerful. Class choices, race choices, okay. Most popular subclasses: Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard in that order. 2 million players have survived a dinosaur attack. 84 million fireballs have been thrown, which is also the leading cause of eyebrow loss among wizards. Scratch has been pet 48.5 million times. He thinks he's great, frankly. He just wants his ball back already. Players have spoken to 133 million corpses. 113 million corpses since launch. They all thank you for the conversation and apologize for the smell. And there we go. We got Shadowheart as the most popular love interest. Very cute. Okay. Okay. And there's our orange cat sitting in a window. Beautiful. we're going to do a little bit of transition here. Now that we've gone through a bunch of news articles for the day and seen what's online, we're going to transition over into what I want to call the content creation stream, where we talk a little bit about content creation, about what tools you should be using and how you should be using them. Let me just take a moment. I'm going to be pinging out, and we will be starting, I believe, in a few, well, we'll see. I'll probably start in about 20 minutes with the actual presentation, but we can hang out and everything while you guys are here. How to create content. Content creation stream. How? All right. Do do do. Do 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 do. All right, Twitch.tv. Copy this sucker. Let me ping out. The streaming group. Hey guys. In 20 mins, I will be streaming / recording a content media creation tutorials and doing live questions. If you are new and want to learn, you can I'll also be uploading everything later if you miss it. How do I make a video? Save. And let's open up YouTube. Do. Oh. I got a comment. Your cat from a tree. Did disaster pick up a broom and start I remember the stream. That was fun.
The pieces. It's an unspoken.
Okay. Do 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 do. Let's see if is Da Vinci gonna do anything to my machine if I boot it up. Let's try this out. We'll see if I can run this in the stream. So for the next 15 minutes or so, everybody, I'm going to be just building out the content creation stream, putting some stuff up on screen that maybe you guys, well, that'll make it easier for me in the long run. A huge thing within content creation, with a huge thing within video creation, is having a quick workflow, something that you can work with right away. Hopefully this doesn't, oh, this is going to make everything chug for a second. To make everything chug. Hopefully we're still live. Hopefully. Do. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on. Don't fail on me. There we go. Remove clip. Do. Backspace, zoom out, see, yeah, we have the whole thing here. Delete. Delete. Get rid of everything. Do. Let's just clear out all this stuff. Do. Video, raw video, outro, intro, save. Okay, we have a nice video set up there. All right, we have Audacity here. We have GIMP. We have a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's take a look. And what we're going to use right now is we're going to use ChatGPT to help me structure the stream. Okay. We are going... Nope. Are going to structure... Hey, Culprit, how's it going, man? In about 13 minutes here, so on the half hour, I'm going to be doing a content creation stream. So with Monty and a few of his friends, they want to know a little bit more about how to create video content, how to do the things that you and I have been doing for a while here. It's a lot of the stuff that we've talked about, you know, as a, I guess, just individually about content creation. They want to know a lot about that. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down literally the entirety of content creation in different segments for them, for everybody. If you want to be in for this and hang out, you're definitely welcome. You might learn some things too, because I have a digital media professional experience, which I can kind of like take some of the ideas and things that I've learned out in the actual field, doing things like construction documentation, and really help you guys understand like what is good quality video. Okay, that's really important. Now, does it translate directly over to YouTube creation and Twitch creation? You're my success story. No, you're my success story, but you're a success story in that. So hopefully I've helped out a little bit with those with what you've been doing. You don't my shit, your vids all over the place. That's fine, right? You still have the entirety. We'll go over the entirety of content creation, what it is, what the difference between art creation and content creation is, and a bunch of that fun extra stuff. So we'll get into the actual video part and structured. And my video is all over the place too, Culprit. You know this, you've seen my stuff. But I do like to think I have a little bit of a format for like my key series, my like Overwatch series, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna structure a content creation stream. This is going to explain all the technicalities of recording, editing, and distributing content. This, the first segment is going to be about pixels. The last, and we will end with end with uploading content online. Here are my notes. Okay, so like, what is a pixel? Oh no, what is data slash a pixel? What is data? Okay, pixels. My X key's broken. Pixels, vectors, audio, video, compression. We're gonna do so we are going to do, what is it, workflows. Oh no, we'll actually do storytelling next. What should we do first? Storytelling or workflows? We can do workflows. We'll do workflows. Workflows. From what computer slash software to online. The importance of setting up early workflows. Then we're gonna do performance. Okay. What is said to how the content is structured. Where to place story and meaning. Post-production, tagging, describing, and promotional. And then uploading, quality and processing. Quality and processing, categories, and extra. Content performance and structure, post-production techniques, tagging, describing, and promotion. There we go. Uploading and online distribution. Yes. Throughout the stream to make sure, include examples and demonstrations. Okay, in 5 minutes here, we are going to get into the ins and outs. 5 minutes on the clock. And we're going to be winging it, so if I end up stumbling over my words quite a bit, I'm not really winging it. I've done these I've done the presentations, I guess, before. But this will be a good way to refresh my memory. And I might even have some fun little tips and tricks for everybody here also. Let's pull up my drives, this PC. So you guys can have, there we go, video share, main drive. Yes, 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 that's fine. Beautiful. Does that show? Now, culprit, if you're are you, hopefully you're hanging out still. Do you see the the Windows key tab window when I do that? Because I can't see it on my stream. If I press Windows key and tab, it should show you all of my windows laid out with like desktops up above. Does it do that for you? Yes, you see. Oh, great. Perfect. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, we're going to have a good time. We are going to have a good time. Okay. Okay. Like I say, I've done this presentation before. But this is going to be more of like a super upgraded, hyper magical, know-it-all presentation. A lot more in depth than the basic documentation specialist training that I used to do for people. So you guys will get the real ins and outs. Where did I close my little background music? Oh no, we paused it. Do. Am I seeing something? Mike's. We're good. That's only 2 audios. Yes, we're good. Okay. Three minutes on the clock. I need a countdown, which I could have. We could do a countdown timer of some sort, but like I say, this is not necessarily impromptu, but it is definitely going to be kind of off the cuff in a way. And I may redo them. We could do something a little more professional at some point in time, but this is mostly what I want to do. Actually, we'll talk about this before I get into the actual video. This is going to be for the community, my community of people that I know around me and that I talk to pretty commonly, to help us collaborate and align all of our content creation into one path. Because everybody's using different tools, everybody's using different systems, everybody's using different workflows. And while that is okay, it's actually great for everybody to have their own setups. Being able to match protocols between everyone not only increases efficiency in terms of like in terms of working with other people. But it'll increase like the level of artistic creativity one has, because you're able to meld and mesh your content with other people's content in a way that feels more natural. And I know this being a musician. Okay? Being a musician, you do better when you have other musicians to play around. And if you're all playing the same genre of music, you have so many opportunities for creativity that you wouldn't have if you were playing by yourself. So hopefully over the next, it's probably going to be more than an hour of video content. We will be breaking down literally from how a pixel is made, how every single tiny detail is made in an image, all the way to how a 4K 60 FPS video gets put up on YouTube, Vimeo, or any other service out there. By the end of this, everybody will know how to create, or at least the idea about how to create content online. Which I'll do a full intro on that in just a few seconds here. And of course, we will be using, where is GPT reference? Okay. Let me just quickly ping out to these nerds. Starting now. Starting. All right. Welcome everybody in to, I guess, the first content creation stream, the first Sulack's content creation stream. I personally have been working with multimedia since, actually probably working with multimedia for more than 15 years now. I'm 30 at the moment. I've been doing this stuff since I was 15 years old in school. I've worked in a multimedia industry, not in the entertainment industry, but actually in the construction documentation industry, where I spent about 3 years learning the ins and outs of what it takes to build a multimedia company that is highly efficient and highly detailed and focused specifically on the documentation of structures. Now, this does translate quite a bit over into the actual entertainment world, the multimedia industry. All of the tools are the same. All of the concepts are the same, except in many cases, I've noticed that in the entertainment industry, they're actually really inefficient on the way people do things, because it's not dependent on a project. The construction industry, for example, is very... It requires things to happen on time. And if you're not synced around the construction project, then you're not going to be, or they're not going to be your client. They're not going to be paying you any money. So with this in mind, we have to be able to think about all the content creation we do as professional. This is going to be professional work. Even if you are going to open up a Microsoft Paint view like many of my viewers have seen before, you should have an idea that you are going to be as clear as possible, that you are going to frame things in a structured way. Even if you're not the best at it, one of the biggest things I'm going to always emphasize is most of content creation is changing who you are from the person that you are right now, which doesn't know much about content creation, or does know a little bit about content creation and hasn't gotten into it, into somebody who understands and who can create a video or can create a picture or can create an animation not instantly. I'm not gonna be that guru that's like, wow, in 60 minutes I'll make you a master, but at least you'll understand what every single part of the industry is saying when somebody says I am dealing with compression, when I am dealing with certain color spaces, I am dealing with file sizes, I am dealing with whatever. Okay, there's a lot of little tiny bits and pieces you'll hear people talk about in this industry that to the average person make absolutely no sense. But hopefully, guys, by the end of this stream, you should know literally everything, or at least have enough information that when someone speaks to you, you can stop and go, wait a minute, can you explain this to me in the way that I understand it? And you'll have a full understanding of what they're talking about, as opposed to just not understanding anything at all with the bunch of jargon that's out there in this media industry. Okay, so we're gonna start with probably the most basic thing ever. And most people will be going like, why are we even bringing this up? But I'm going to do it anyways, because it is stupid and simple, and I'm giving you a lot of build up to it, because it is, I don't know, it is really, really simple. Well, it's files and folders. Okay, files and folders, the basis of any project that you build. Everything is going to be built off of files and folders. If you are a mobile user, the mobile industry has done an excellent job at making it really hard for you to understand the files and folder structures in your device. But really, when you connect your phone to a computer, you'll see that it is just a series of files and folders. I'm not going to plug it in right now. I'm not going to plug my phone in, but if I was to do that, if I was to pop my phone in, it would actually appear as a device on the left-hand side of my screen. I can see Culprit talking. I love it, dude. Please. I'm going to be just going away on this information, so definitely all the extra stuff, do it. Excellent, please. Now, it is a little bit of a headache understanding what is a file and what is a folder, or what is where, and especially too when you are on Apple's infrastructure, the iOS infrastructure. They don't necessarily directly deal with files and folders. They have files and folders in the system, but it's not as intertwined as the vast majority of other computer systems. But it still matters that you understand them. I have had a lot of people out there go, I just want to make pictures, I just want to make video, I don't want to have to deal with all this complex back-end stuff. But I'm going to tell you right now, absolutely right now, if you master your file and folder system, then your content creation down the line will be so much faster and so much more efficient than anybody else out there, that you will just out-content compete anybody that you're trying to directly out-content compete. Now, of course, the quality depends on you and the community depends on you, but content is there. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with a basic folder. We're just going to call this our streaming content project. And you'll see this folder that I have right here, actually, guys, is terrible, okay? I have stuff all over the place. That's because I have a billion different projects going on. But we'll use this as is. So keep in mind, guys, I'm not the best at this. There's a reason why, but also too, this is something a lesson I learned early on that I don't always apply, but I do my best to apply. All right, we're gonna call this the stream content creation folder. Now, what this does, whenever we work in a project and we have everything within this container, we know that this is the final resting place for anything else that we do. There's a lot of people who will copy and save photos, files straight to their desktop, straight into a folder. It'll end up looking like my documents folder in a way, which, trust me, it's a lot more organized than it looks. It's organized chaos. But if you have everything in one place, you'll see later on in a little bit on the stream why this matters so much and why you're like labeling everything too, in a way. I'm just gonna keep saying it just makes everything so much easier, but I'll slowly stop saying that. I want to rub it in more than anything else, because young Sulack young, I'm talking to you 10 years ago, didn't apply these things at all and learned his lesson quite a bit. Now, every single time you create a new project, you always want to create some form of assets folder. A lot of companies out there will use different words for this. It could be pictures, data, there's a whole bunch of other variations of it. But we are going to create an assets folder, because the assets folder is going to contain all of the little pieces of your project. It's not going to be the whole project together, but when we consider, let's say, actually, wrong side, you see this Sulack logo down here, this S logo? That S logo would be something that we put into the assets folder. The viewer RSS feeds that you see at the top, that is something that we put into our into our assets folder. There are going to be other folders that you can create, like a new folder would be docs or documents. This is going to be a place for notes. So if you're going to be putting in, if you have a storyline, if you have some form of text, if you have some screenshots of something that you want to do, a docs folder always makes content creation so much easier because you can reference back and forth between your assets and docs. You also want to have another folder that is for, it can be called a cache folder in many cases. It can be treated like a cache folder, but really this is going to be your, what do I even put? I have all sorts of names and setups for them. But normally I'll put in something like, just other. Heck, why not? I know I don't have a specific system in place. You should have a specific in place. Like other, what does other mean? Other means every little bit of junk that you want to add into the project that you may not know where it goes. So for example, if I'm making a video and I start up the intro section, my other folder is actually my intros section because I'll render out the whole intro first. I'll make the whole intro first, slap it into the other folder because it's not the full project yet, and it's not even an asset that I'm using. It's just a test thing. I'm just seeing how well it works. And then that way, all of those like extra garbagey things that you're not sure where they go in their project, they end up in some type of folder that you can go back and reference later if you need to. If you forget how you've done something, if you've misplaced something, it's usually the place for the other folder. Now, that is the 3 main folders, okay? I cannot emphasize this enough. If you do not have 3 folders, one for all the assets, one for the documents, and one for all the other stuff, go do it right now. There will be ways that we can build this inside projects, so inside file types, but there's a reason for this. We'll get into that again later more than anything else. Assets. So let's go into assets. We'll start with what is an asset. What are we talking about when we consider something like, what do we consider an asset, right? Well, an asset can be any piece or part of your stream that you want to place in a spot. So if I want to add new image assets, I'm going to have an asset folder, and inside I'm going to have images. What I'm also going to have is a new folder. We're going to call this text. Test. My X's key is broken. Test. Text. Because if I have raw text, if I go in here and I can actually create a new, let's do a rich text document, and we're going to call this, title screen. We now have some form of document, it's an RTF file, where I can put text in for the title screen, save it. Actually, this is not the best way of doing it. I've done a reinstall recently of Windows and haven't, there's other ways of doing it. Sorry, let's just do, I can switch the file type. Oh, we'll talk about file type. We'll get there. Anyways, I want to put my text files in the asset text folder. That's the real summary of it. It doesn't matter what type of text folder it is. You can see here there's a variety, like open document text, which is this little marker at the end. I'll explain that in just a second. There's a whole bunch of different text style systems, TXT, RTF in there that you can place. So it doesn't matter what type of text it is, you can place it here. Even if it could be a screenshot, for example. So if I want a screenshot of some text, I would consider actually putting it inside the text folder. So an image of text goes inside the text folder because that's important. That's where all the text goes. Okay, so now that we have these 2 folders, what is the difference between an image and a text file? If we go into the text file, you guys can see there are these like dot something at the end of them. Every single asset, every single document, every single video, every single picture that you use will be some form of file type. Every single one. Now, there's so many companies out there, there's so many systems out there, and you could actually create, if you wanted to, you technically, in theory, could create your own file type, your own dot something. There's so many out there that you're going to have to learn. A large majority of what you do is learning about how to move programs and move documents from one file type or one system to another. The vast majority of these files you can open up. If I want to have text in here, and then I want to have text in this other one, usually it's pretty easy for me just to copy and paste. There's a variety of different ways of doing it too, where you can actually change this last little bit. But what is the last little bit? When I keep referencing .odt, .txt, .anything, .rtf, what is that? That is the designator that tells your computer what type of program it needs to open up in. If you right click, and we're assuming you're using Windows, but it's the same thing on every single other operating system out there. If you open this up and you right click and you say open with, if I select choose another app, I can actually select the default app to open this file with. And it's only going to be defined by this little dot at the end. So right now I'm opening this file with the writer tool that I have. In some cases, you can change this extension, this little thing at the end, to open it up in different programs. You can do that. But some programs won't open things up in other programs that well. If I was to take an image, let's take let's just go to my pictures, and we're gonna take this picture of, this picture's great. It's Chihuahua or Muffin. It's an AI test right here. Chihuahua or Muffin. And now we're going to take what's called a .jpeg, which is your image type, .jpeg. And now we're going to change its last little bit to .txt. Of course, the computer will warn me. Oh, I didn't. 1 second here. X is broken on my keyboard. TXT. It'll warn me, hey, this file might not be openable. But then if I open it, this is actually the image in text form, which is crazy. But the image is still there. Okay. Whenever people are opening up or deciding what type of program or what type of systems they want to use, most of the time they decide program first and then file type later. Well, when you're building content on the internet, you want to find the best program to open up the type of system that you're using. So if I'm dealing with images, I want to have a relatively good image setup. Oh, I'm probably getting a spam caller. Go away, spam caller. Okay. Now, some programs will just do it no matter what. I'm not going to go into the complexity of a file type and what goes into those file types and how those file types work. We will do that later on, but just so you're aware, everything, every little bit of content that you're using has a file container. And these file containers are varied. You can see if I do JPG or if I do JPEG, it's actually going to be the same thing. The computer is going to know that JPEG or JPG is a file or a specific image type. So the question is now, I have all these files or I have all these systems. What do I use to create these files? If I want to make a video or I want to make an image or I want to do anything for anybody at all, what do we use? Well, the industry has standards. We have the Microsoft 347 suite, I think it's called, which is like Microsoft Office, Excel, and there's a bunch of the Microsoft tools that are involved with whatever's in there. I'm not gonna, anyways. But those file types, actually too, even like with video content, a lot of people go with Adobe products, for example. But there's a lot of programs out there that do the exact same thing as these specialized programs, but they just are limited in their scope. I'm going to recommend a website that everybody goes to if you haven't yet, if you're looking to be a content creator in any way, that gives you actually a large list of free tools. This is all free tools that you can install just through one click. And I'll show you my list of tools. I use everything in this list, or I have used most of these things in the list, and they are excellent tools and they always work for me. And anyways, I'll break this down and we'll go into like what these file types are and how to edit them a little bit later once we break down this program. But I think this is really important. Okay, ninite.com, guys. Ninite. When I done a little bit of IT work before. This was the go-to. When we helped documentation specialists build out their computers, this was the website that you went to, because 99% of the things on here are high quality and free and easy to use. Okay, big ones, web browsers, of course. You can use whatever web browser you want, but what I want people to look at is this media section right here. Now, there is imaging and documents and a few other small bits. We can peek into that in just a second. And I'll show you some more functional tools that are really nice for a content creator that are not just media tools. But if we go on this media list, the #1 program everybody has, and if you don't have it right now, even if you don't do content creation, go download it, go to their main website, use 9.8, whatever it is VLC. The VLC media player. Check that box off. I can bring it up here. This is the best tool on the internet for playing video content anywhere, everywhere, at all times, no matter what. Do it right now. It will play literally everything you give it. Anytime, there's actually some codecs. We'll talk about codecs in a little bit later here on what they are. But there are certain file types that programs like the Windows Media Player or whatever it is now, the Windows Video Player will not play. VLC is, I cannot emphasize getting it enough. If you watch videos on your computer at all, you download things, go for it. Absolutely. Another big one is Audacity. Okay, Audacity, if I pop over here, is a recording program for your voice. So you can start, press record, do a little jingle, and stop, and here you go, you have your entire recording. This is excellent for voiceovers. Is a recording program for your voice. So you can start, press record. Oh, sorry guys, it's peaking like crazy on that end. I just quickly recorded it as is, but Audacity, if you are looking for a video editing program, or sorry, an audio editing program at all, this is so base standard. Okay, it might even piss some people off who are experts in audio. They'd be like, this is such a simple program, but it is so powerful, and especially for content creation to start out, it is free, and it has a variety of different effects and tools that you can use to make whatever you want. It is amazing. I use it for everything. Okay, and I have FL Studios, and I have I have an older version of Ableton, and I have an old Cubase license. I don't use any of those. I use FL Studios occasionally, but Audacity is the go-to for any audio recording, any waveform recording. I'll point out too. It doesn't have to be audio, but I'm not going to go into what that is. A little, we'll get into there. Another major one for everybody is Handbrake. Okay, if you are not using Handbrake and you are dealing with video, download it right now and get it. Get it. Even if you don't plan on using it right away, even if you have a subscription to the entire Adobe suite, and no, Handbrake is a video re-encoding software. Let me just pull this up. That allows you, if for some reason you mistake one little bit of video and you render it out the wrong way, or you record it the wrong way, this program will save your recordings. It does take a while to go and update and change to figure out the exact resolution that you want, to figure out the exact settings, but get it. Handbrake. We used it professionally. Absolutely. Jump on that. Going over to imaging. Okay. Now, there's some special, one second here. What's that, guys? Hey, please by the door. Thanks. Okay, sorry about that. I have people talking about my door. Okay, so imaging. Now, if you're a basic artist and you're looking for just a nice little paint tool, I would absolutely recommend Krita. Okay, it is not the best photo editor out there, not the best image editor. It works really well though. If you just want to relax and draw stuff, go get it. Go try it out. If you're an artist in any way, it is a fun little tool. Blender, for those who deal with 3D models or thinking about dealing with 3D models, another exceptionally complicated system, but very robust. Okay, we're not going to go into any Blender tools today, but definitely you might want to grab it if you are considering any form of larger content creation. GIMP. All right, GIMP is #1. I do not care even if you already have Photoshop. You might want to use Photoshop for 99% of what you're doing, but GIMP is the image manipulation program, GNU, image manipulation GIMP, which is the name of it. that I believe it came from Linux operating systems first, but they ported it over to Windows and has become my go-to for image editing across the board. It is free. It is almost just as powerful as Photoshop. Of course, you don't get all the fun little Photoshop AI tools that they have nowadays, but if you're looking just to create text, create logos, edit photo, change color, this is the place to do it. Welcome in High Five. I am doing a video content creation few hours here where I share my experience on how I do all my content creation. I'm just going to do a quick acknowledge hi because I am going to be recording this and throwing this up on YouTube. Welcome in. If you want to hang out, learn a little bit about content creation, this is the place to do it right now. I just won't be too responsive within chat, but I appreciate it. Anyways, GIMP, we will be doing a lot of our descriptions. Whoops, I've actually opened Godot, which is another excellent tool. But we'll be doing a lot of our stuff a little bit later on GIMP. So if you do want to try and follow along with me at all, if you feel like you want to learn a bit more about images, download GIMP. And once we get to that section, we'll actually jump over all the little bits of GIMP that will help you become a better content creator. Okay, another big one is Irfan View. I don't know how to describe it, but this program is also one that we use professionally too. It is the VLC version for images. It will open up any image that you give it. It is great. Okay. I don't know how else to put it. Also, Greenshot. If you're looking at somebody who's doing a lot of screenshots, Greenshot's pretty good. It's actually more powerful than the built-in screenshot tool within Windows, which I don't really use Greenshot. I used to use it a lot more in the past, but since Windows now has their excellent screenshot tool, I can show everybody how that works. But if you're interested, give it a go anyways. For documents, I highly recommend OpenOffice, just so you can have somewhere to write things down. It's a free version of Word. Check it out. It's a good way to write stuff. I don't know how else to put it. In terms of everything else, compression is really important, guys. Actually, there's two ones here. Sorry. Everything. This program right here. Everything. Oh, am I... Sorry, I'm going to have to probably close a program here. More details. Performance. What's running. Anyways, everything allows you to search through your computer exceptionally fast. If I pull up my version of everything here, it... Like, every single folder, photo thing. Hopefully you guys don't see anything crazy on there. Is searched within everything. The typical Windows search when you're looking for a file is absolutely terrible. So if you want to find some recording that you did a while ago that has that was, I don't know, recorded at a specific date and you know that date, or I really don't know. Like there's a million things that you can search up with the with everything. So definitely check that out. Another big one, guys, too, is ZZip and WinRAR. I recommend getting both of them. This is for compression, and we'll talk a little bit later about compression. We'll go into what compression is and how it works. But this is lossless file compression for ZZip and for WinRAR. They both technically do the exact same thing, technically, but there are cases where you might want to use one or the other first. So I would recommend either one. I have not used pzip, so I cannot recommend that. I don't know too much about it from there. Okay, so files, folders, programs, applications. We went over not how important file creation is, but we went over like what you should be doing for all of your files and folders and projects. We looked at what programs you guys should be using. Let me just pull this up too. Where is it? Okay, we're gonna go into media. Okay, what is media? Oh, I see my camera's lagging a little bit. That's fine. Whatever, we'll go with this. What is media and how does media work? Well, the basis of all media is resolution. Even when you're considering audio, and I'm not gonna go over audio too much today. I'll mention a few things in that, but everything has a resolution. And what is resolution? Well, resolution is how high detailed the thing that you're doing is. If you were to start a new project in any program out there that does multimedia, so if you're in a video program or you're in an imaging program, you're going to have to select a resolution. We're going to keep it simple at the moment. We're going to do 100 by 100 resolution. The explanation of what a pixel is, a lot of people will know right away, but I'm still going to do it anyways, because there's usually a few things that people miss within what is a pixel. You can see here there's templates. This is going to be different shapes and sizes for different styles and setups of imagery. So for example, you can actually see there's a toilet paper section here. So if you wanted an image that was the size for toilet paper and you were doing some form of toilet paper print, you could select this and it would by default give you about the average size for your toilet paper prints. There's a variety in there. You can see like video content and for specific like Samsung Galaxies and iPhones. You'll see these settings everywhere, but they all are just resolution. We're not going to worry about the advanced options right now. So here we have a base image. I use orange. It's nice and bright. If we were to zoom in, it just looks like a big square. But what I can do is actually, if I pull the selector out, now I'm not going to go over the individual tools inside GIMP and inside the programs that I'm using, but I will try to describe them from a much more general perspective. So if you're using even Microsoft Paint, these tools will pretty much be the exact same. So, let me just, we want the rectangular select. So if I go to rectangular select, you'll actually see that it steps a little bit if you take a look. And what that stepping is the pixels. If we open up, there's a way for us to create a grid. 1 second here. View, we're going to show the grid. And I'm going to view, we're going to image, configure grid. I'm going to change this grid so that every single square is a pixel. Now a pixel is the smallest unit inside your image. We've all seen pixel art. If I was to pull this up on the internet and I look up pixel art, here we go, images. You can see pixel art is squared off and it's very blocky. The reason for this is because it requires more processing power to have more pixels. In the old days of computing, back in the old days of computing, we had limited processing power. So when, here, I'm just trying to set this up, let's say, sorry. So when we made games and when we made content, media, it had to be low resolution because every single time you add a new pixel, that's a new system that the computer has to calculate. You'll notice if you open up, and I'm not going to stress my computer right now because I'm streaming. If you were to open up an image with 100,000 pixels by 100,000 pixels, there's a very good chance that your computer would slow way, 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 way down. The cool thing about that is that that pixel art is actually an art style. So if your computer isn't capable of doing large images or working with lots and lots of pixels, lots and lots of segments, lots and lots of sections, you can actually reduce the quality of whatever you're doing to match the amount of processing power that you have. In video, you can actually create something that is like a proxy. So if it's too slow to edit a video in one way, you can create a smaller version of that video, and you can edit that smaller version of the video and then insert the higher end version when you're doing the actual completion of it. So the reason why I'm pointing this out is because a lot of the times people come up against struggles that are processing related. They'll pile and pile and pile and pile and pile things on their computer or on their content, not really realizing how much they've added to their system and how much overhead they've used up essentially. Okay, so that's just a quick little overview on the large idea of pixels. But when we're making images, what are we looking at and how are we looking at the pixels? And actually, you'll see a really interesting thing. I don't know if you guys can see on your screen, and it probably is. These grids don't look exactly pixel per pixel. If I zoom in, you guys probably can see there's patterns that change, okay? The reason for this is because this pixel grid doesn't match up with the pixel grid on your phone, on your computer screen, on your anything, right? What it's trying to do is it's trying to display the same image, but it can't match up pixel per pixel what is on my frame right here. So it's doing some guessing. This is called compression, okay? Hopefully you guys can see this across the board on yours. Mine looks like a straight flat line. So compression matters quite a bit. We'll go into the details of compression, but you can go in here and actually we'll create a new layer when you're creating imagery. 1 second. Culprit says witchcraft, Big Brother watching you through the lines. Yeah, it makes a weird visual effect, doesn't it? But let's pull this up here. Okay, so we have our background, right? We can actually create a new layer. And the vast majority of content is set up like this. When I mentioned before running out of processing power because you've used too much of whatever, this is an example of how an image can become significantly more complicated without actually adding more pixels. Now, the file that this program will create will be relatively large, and keep in mind, when we finish it, it's going to compress it down so you just have that grid of pixels. But we're dealing with editing right now. So we create a second layer. What does that second layer do? How does it work? What's the purpose of it? Well, we can now do edits on top. Whoops. Can I paint? Is it going to let me paint? Or am I going to have to... Why isn't that letting me paint? Is there something I'm missing here? Something I'm missing here. It should. There we go. Okay, there we go. For some reason, the paint tool, I don't know. Something's weird with it. Okay. So, you can see if I use my paint tool and I start running it across here, if we zoom right in, this is actually steps. Because every single one of those blocks is a pixel. If we zoom out really far, it starts to look straighter and straighter. That is how your monitor works. When you go and you buy a 1080p monitor from the store, it is just 1080 squares tall, I can't remember, 1920 I think across, 1920 across, and they're so small that the really big steps, the really big grids in there, are what will become the small smooth lines that we're used to seeing. Now there are tricks, we're going to go in there are small tricks involving making these images look in different ways, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to directly export this image, and I'm going to export it as a JPEG, and I'm going to export it as a PNG. Okay, so you guys can see the difference. File, export as. Now keep in mind, guys, we did start our project folder. So if we're going to be saving this image in, we're going to have to go to our project folder, which should be, if I remember where I put it, somewhere in the stream. It was right at the top, stream content creation folder. We're going to throw this in assets, images, and we're going to label this image low. We're going to be specific, 100, 100, or 100x100 logo. And notice, I'm going to save this as PNG. Okay? We'll export as PNG. Now, where did this pop up? There should be a window. There's a bunch of different settings that pop up. Okay? What those settings are and how those settings work, you'll understand a little bit later. But keep in mind, when I save it as a PNG, that's a different file type than a JPEG. Okay? Those are going to have different functions, and they're actually going to have different settings. You'll see this example, compression level, right here. We're actually going to press this 0. I think that's, if I remember correctly. Assets, images. So now we know exactly where this is. If we open this image up, why is it blurry? Why is it blurry? Does anybody have any... I haven't asked chat at all, but does anybody have any answers for this? Does anybody know why it's blurry? I'm not going to let you guys wait for too long. That's because this program is blurring it. So programmers realize people don't always want to see pixels. They don't want to zoom in. If I was to pull up an image, let's do pictures, we'll pick up our, there's our muffin or chihuahua picture. If you zoom in, you don't want everything to be hard, flat pixels. You want a nice, smooth gradient. So computer scientists figured out that for the vast majority of programs that we're going to open things up in, we're going to smooth out those lines. Now, if I was to save it as, let's save as a JPEG instead. Oops. Export as JPEG, JPG. Export. Oh, no, PNG. I want JPG. Come on. JPG. Export. Why isn't it? There we go. So export quality. You actually see there's some different settings here because JPEG is a little bit different. I'm going to pull the quality of the JPEG all the way down. Now, how do you make a picture with as just pixels, less pixels? How do you make it less quality? Do you actually make it less pixels? So if I was to take the image, do I make it smaller? If I was to go, I'll just show you scale image. We're going to do 50% scaled. We zoom in. No. It makes a blurry. You see that, guys? It changes it just a little bit. Okay. Well, they do the same thing. Except, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This is what it looks like. Why? Why did we just create two images and save them and they look totally different from the image that we have on GIMP? It's going to be the same thing with every single program you guys have. Well, it's because the two different file types, JPEG and PNG, store information in different ways. A JPEG image doesn't actually save the whole image, but it saves it in smaller squares. It saves it by 8x8 pixel squares. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but you can see how the program, it gives you the general look, the general feel of this image here, but it's chopped it up. It's added extra colors because programmers realized real early on that they don't need to recreate the exact image. They don't need to have the exact same image to have somebody see something that looks extremely similar to something else. So what they do is they do these tricks. And when you save a file, when you save an image into JPEG, it's actually going through, changing a whole bunch of the pixels and making some variation of this. You could see very clearly too, if you look at our muffin or chihuahua photo, you see it's JPEG top left corner, super tiny, but you guys can see it there. If I was to zoom in really tight, you can still sort of see the squares. You can sort of see those squares that are in there. Now, people make the mistake, it's a common mistake, just to think an image is an image. When I export, it's a JPEG. I hear people call everything JPEG. It's not always true. When you're looking for content that you want to create and you want to build something, you want things in the highest possible setting for you to edit. If I was now to open this image, let's say I were to pull this image here, in theory, I'm going to paste this right over top of it so you guys can see. In theory, this should copy in the exact same. But, the big but is it doesn't want to show the layer. What? Or is that? No, wait, it is. It is what I'm talking about. Okay. Sorry. I meant but with the JPEG. Sorry. So you can see with the PNGs actually preserve everything inside the image. They preserve every little detail. But if I was to pull the JPEG in, what the heck is that? So learning your file types, setting yourself up with correct file types, in the long run is going to matter more than anything else for the quality of your images. We have seen, and I'll mention this too, high fives in chat, because high five does a lot of his rendering on a mobile platform. Mobile platforms take a lot of shortcuts. They take so many shortcuts, and they'll take that shortcut with your video content too. We'll go into video content in a few minutes here, but I really want to emphasize this because every single thing that you make, I don't want to close this too much, will have a level of quality to it, and you're going to have to maintain that level of quality throughout all of production. This matters when flipping file types in any way. The vast majority of times when you change a file type from, let's say, a PNG to a JPEG, you are now dealing with what's called compression. I mentioned this earlier on when, like, I was like, okay, well, we'll talk a little bit about compression and what compression is, but there's actually multiple types of compression. This is image compression. It means that inside the file that you have, this image is going to do its best to look like the image that you originally had, but it's not going to be the exact same image, which is known as lossy compression. When you get information, when you're talking back and forth with people, you need to know whether you're dealing with lossy information or lossless information. Most PNGs, I know there's exceptions. I can hear other people with lots of content creation experience going, oh my God, Sulack, PNGs can lose data, no problem. Yes, they can. I know that. But this is an excellent example, like a direct example, and JPEGs are way worse for it. So the question is now, why did it change the color? Is anyone curious about that? Why would this go from a bright orange to a soft orange? Whoops, there it is right there. Well, we're going to go over to Paint, Paint 3D to describe it. This has to do with file sizes, how large your images are, how large your videos are. Because let's say you have color, and we're going to do color of, yeah, whatever, red, blue, and we have green. Oh, come on, green. And when a computer looks at the data, it's going to look at the levels for each. These are the scales. Now, computers are not like dials. They don't have infinite spaces, infinite turning radiuses, infinite little bits in between. Computers have to segment things. You either have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, 8 levels. And based on whether or not, oh, I don't really have a darker. Let's say it's a low color. You're looking at a darker red versus a higher color. You're looking at like a pink, which is nearly white. And right in the middle, you got to have your regular red. Now, there are only discrete steps in between those colors. And it's going to be the same thing with blue. It's the same thing with green. The reason why a JPEG that I've compressed down like crazy would change the color is because when it goes to render the photo up, or sorry, when it goes to put the photo into a file that you can put onto your screen, it's actually reducing the amount of potential colors that the computer can use. Rather than having 8 steps, you would imagine I've reduced it down to 3 major steps. And then in the case of orange, you only have so many colors to mix together to create orange. For those who know anything about color theory, this is important, right? This is why. If you know about color theory and you don't know about computers, well, now you hopefully have matched those two concepts together between, oh, well, in real life, if I have paints, I can mix those colors and they look this no matter what, right? And I can get the right shade of it. But with computers, you only have discrete steps. The more discrete steps you have, the larger the file. I have images in my drives that are 1 gigabyte plus in size. Yes, for those who know, most files are a few megabytes. I'm talking about images that are hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, larger than the average photo. Well, that is because the amount of color information that I have in them added to the amount of pixels. Remember, this is just 1 pixel. This is just 1 pixel right here. Okay, if you add this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, And then you also add real-time creation, where those pixels have to come up over and over and over again at 60 frames a second. Well, you're going to have twice as much data as if it's 30 frames a second. You're packing all this information together. So this is the foundation of all data, all media, everything on the internet. If we open up video, and let's pull up a YouTube video. Actually, we can pull up our royalty-free music thing here, just to show everybody how this works. If I was to swap from 1080, which we get the nice, beautiful, clear crystal imagery, down to 1440, we ask ourselves, where are the squares? If it's only 144 dots down the side, why don't we see those dots? Well, if you look really closely, you can see we blurred the dots together. Another thing that comes with this, with compression, is actually a really good video by Tom Scott for video compression. And I'm not going to watch the whole thing here, but just so you guys are aware and you can see what this is. Where is it? There we go.
Have you ever noticed that video of...
Let's jack this up. We'll do about 720, so it's got some limited bit rate set up. But just to show everybody, let's find video. So if you watch... Oh, come on.
Now, if you already understand interframe compression, you can pick another video. But everyone else on this incredible clip of 200...
So, watch. I want to point out how this is a relatively clear image.
It on this incredible clip of 200 kilos of confetti being blasted at Ed Sheeran on the UK's X Factor.
And as soon as
now, if you already understand interframe,
you can see how everything just becomes mud. And why is that? Well, it's because the computer is having a really hard time keeping the file size as low as possible, so it's not going absolutely crazy, while still making things look reasonable. So it's merging everything together. It's mixing the whites together. It's mixing the mixing all the little bits of confetti together. This is compression. You guys will see this over and over again. Now, when it comes to creating quality video, you'll almost never get raw video. Video, like, the amount of images needed to create raw video, especially high resolution raw video, is immense. Most of the time, guys have like literal terabyte hard drives that get filled up in a matter of minutes if they're able to record in raw 4K, 8K, 12K footage. We're talking about immense amounts. But you as a content creator, and this is where I want to bring this all in to make it much more relevant to you. You as a content creator want to find the nice balance between quality video that the average person can watch and the amount of time and space that you're willing to give up to render out and store and set up large video. The more complicated it is, the harder it is to deal with. I literally just did some video content that was almost 20 gigabytes of video, and these were 10-minute videos, when the vast majority of movies are less than actually, nowadays with 4K, they're like maybe a few gigabytes, 5 or 6 gigabytes, a whole movie, an hour-long movie, in comparison to what I just rendered out in terms of quality. So really keep that in mind when you're developing whatever you're developing. It does take a lot to go over pixels and media, and like it's complicated, but if you understand this first, your content at the very end of your production will be so much higher quality than the average person. Okay. Oh wait, did I even open up? No, we're good. Okay, so now we've established what is media. Where does it exist? It exists in files. We all know this. How does it break itself down? It actually, one second. Let me pull up. I'll even point out with resolution, guys, and in terms of what's called bit depth with audio. Might as well do it while we're here. If we were to zoom right in, this is the same thing as resolution in an image. For audio, all audio is a waveform, and you can come in and I can edit specific dots and make it. Oh, I don't have the editor up right now, actually. But this is the resolution of the audio. In terms of its height, it's known as bit depth. Okay? In terms of how many dots per second, it's known as sample rate. I'm not going to go into the specifics of how that works, but keep in mind, just higher the bit depth, the higher the sample rate, the higher quality the audio, but also the larger the actual the file itself. Now there are a variety of file types. If you see export, MP3, WAV, OGG, and different type MIDI outputs that you can do here. WAV is considered mostly lossless. There are ways it can be lossy. If you do an MP3, that's the reason why people like audio files don't really like MP3s, is because generally you'll lose a little bit of data. MP3 and MP4 and JPEG are all exceptionally similar. They are very similar in what they do. They simply cut down file size and lose a whole bunch of data while you're at it. How that works, there's a bunch of other stuff we can go on, like implications of this. But I think it's really important, guys, now that we go on to workflows. Because to me, a workflow is something that matters more than anything else, because it's going to matter how much content you can get out and how quick. I'm going to pull OBS over here just for a second, and you guys will get the infinite OBS view. Hi me, hi me, hi me, hi me, all the way down the list, right? Now, one thing I've learned recently, actually, we'll start with this first. Most of the time, you want to make sure that whatever you're recording is as close to the final product as possible. If I open up my settings, settings right here, and we go to video content, I'm actually recording at a base canvas resolution that's exceptionally high for what I'm doing right now. Now, I'll point out as a note, if you're recording video game footage, which has a lot of movement, which we just mentioned earlier with the confetti on the video, you actually want to bring this down a little bit. And the reason why, I'll say it, whatever, Twitch only accepts so much data per second. So you can either have larger frames with less information or less movement, or you can have smaller frames with lots of movement. So it is better generally to output, you see the resolution here, a little bit of a lower video quality. But because I'm doing recordings for YouTube, and this is where workflow matters, right? I'm gonna pick a very high quality recording resolution, but also every single time I do a segment, it's off to the side here, whoops, so you guys can peek at it. Every time I do a segment, I actually click record. This minimizes the amount of editing needed to go out and actually run through whatever you're trying to run through. It's really important when you're doing any type of recording, any type of photography, anything at all that requires live action things, that you start and stop your recordings, or you take those photos, or you take that setup at the exact moment it happens, and you frame it as something as the exact moment it happens. So when I end this whatever timed long segment about how we do video content creation, as soon as I press stop, that's going to give me my whole segment. And then either I can pull it into the video editor, do a bunch of changes on top of it, and then set it out from there. Or what I'm going to be doing is, because everything looks how I already want it to look, because everything is set up in the way that I want it to be set up, I can just upload this video straight to YouTube, because I don't need to do editing. Now, I could, there are ways that I could make this a better YouTube video, but that's not the purpose. And understanding the purpose and the function of your video is more important than making a video that's great for everybody. Because honestly, we know this. If we make a really good video and work hard on it and it gets 50 views, it gets 10 views, what do? Right? But if we make a video for that thing and it gets 5 or 10 views, you can be like, well, it did the job that it was supposed to do. Now, this comes from my construction documentation experience, where you have a camera and you go to the site and your job is to record, film somebody the entire way through. They're going to be talking about random things. So pressing start and stop on the camera is part of your workflow. You know when somebody's going to be talking about whatever topic. That matters. So really keep this in mind. How are you going to segment it? There's other things people can do too. So if I really wanted to segment my section, I would let's bring up paint. Okay. And it's just going to be actual paint. And then I'll grab this. Okay, oops, I want to resize. We're gonna do this. Okay. Oh, do 500, whatever. 500, this is the easiest way of doing it. I don't really do it this way, but you can. Whatever, we'll zoom right in. And I'll fill with red. And then we sit here just for a few seconds in between segments. Why? Because when I go to edit later on, I'm going to be looking for the red frame. This is another way, just another quick way for me to be able to recognize specific moments that are in between moments, whether or not they are useful, or there's all sorts of ways that we can do this. You can also do it just with visual presentations and layouts. Now, I'm not going to directly do it, but you could have the red box in the corner while it's something that's important to be recorded. And then that way, when you're going back and you're editing and you're cutting, you just need to find the frames that have these markers on it, right? And then you can mark out, okay, here's how this is set up from there. So really get creative, and it depends on the environment that you're doing things in. It depends on the game maybe that you're playing or the content that you're putting out. You have to be able to figure out some way. That is why, actually, in the old days, and still somewhat, they have that director's clap thing, and they go, and action. Why? What's the purpose of that? Well, the purpose of it is for the editor. It's not for everybody to know, to hear the snap when it goes in. It's so the editor can sync the audio of the snap with the video, and then also they can go through all the footage, find all of those snaps, and cut out individual segments. Because on a live broadcast or on even a TV show, those cameras are always rolling. They are always rolling, and how they segment them out, how they push them out, matters on, of course, on how quickly they push them out. Culprit says you can do that with pet clickers too. With pet click, are you talking like the little clicker tools? Yeah, actually, another really good way. Culprit, I think this is what Culprit is referencing, is in audio, right? You can actually have an audio chunk that when you're going through your footage, you find those audio chunks, and those are your breakpoints. Something Culprit kind of does, and maybe I'm giving him credit for something. When he thinks a great moment goes on, when he thinks a great moment happened in his stream too, he'll even say something that is relatively conclusive under the stream. So if you were to go back and you were to try and find where you should be cutting, at least you have some kind of reference as to when that segment that you want cut can be cut. At least some kind of reference to it. Culprit uses flags in Twitch. Flags in Twitch are another great way of doing it. Also, too, having your community take clips out for you. All of these little tiny bits add up to making the workflow at the very end easy. Okay. Now, what do I mean directly by workflow? And I brought this up before. So, workflow is knowing where certain assets are going to be at certain periods of time. Normally, what you'll do is if you have a project, we have a stream content creation folder. This is more of like our template. And so we would fill the template full of images and text of things that we do almost every day. Oh man, hiccups, 1 sec. Nope, we're good. So we would fill this full of the logo, the standard logo you use every single time. And every time you start a new project, once you've filled this full of all the things that you're doing, you can actually pull back. You can grab your content creation folder. Where is it again? Copy, paste. Now we have our second content creation folder, and we're going to call this video 1. Now that we're in here, we have our assets and our docs and our other content. That's just stuff that we've amalgamated together for whatever series or whatever system or whatever we're doing. And sometimes I like to have like a final render folder. Sometimes I'll render it to the main section, but I'm gonna do this just for clarity. I'm gonna have the folder here just for clarity right now, because let's say we really like this photo, and then again, keep in mind, there's a million ways you can do this. On a million different types of computers. Okay, we like this background, we like this logo. Let's change the color. We'll change it to green. Okay, edit, fill. We now have a green background. We have our logo. I'm going to copy our logo. I'm going to paste it in here. Move the logo to the bottom right of the screen. File, save as, or export as. And then we go back into our documents. Video 1. Final render. Final image.jpg. Export. Pictures. Or sorry, documents. Where is it? Down bottom, I think. Video 1. Okay. Now, whenever anybody opens up this folder and they want to see the final product that you're putting together, there is your final render. Oh, why is that? There we go. There is your final render with your little logo in the corner. As you build out the project, you normally want to replace this render. Sometimes what people do too is they'll put, old in here. And then as they make new versions, Control C, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. So as they make new versions, they stick the old versions in here. So they always have the most up-to-date recent file project that they're working on. Now. Compression from a larger perspective and coordination with people. Let's say you've worked in your editor of choice and you put together a whole bunch of assets for any type of program or any type of setup or anything. And we have them all together in our assets folder. Well, this is where one of those programs, like the compression programs I told you, come into play. Because if you want to share them with one of your friends or you want to share them with a collaborator, you can actually right-click this. We're going to add to assets.rar. And this folder now, this little assets.rar, is a file that I can go upload to any other service that I want. I can share it to Culprit through Discord. I can upload it to an online archive and share it to thousands of people online. My project now becomes something that can be replicated over and over and over and over again exceptionally quick. How you do this is up to you. What type of project you're working is completely, and how you do it on that type of project is completely up to you. Whether it's you're working on an album with music, whether you're working on a podcast, you're working on video, like fun video content, whether you're doing streams, doesn't matter what it is. As long as you've packaged together your assets in a way that can be just right-clicked and combined and sent out to somebody, you know you've done a correct job. This is the baseline. This is the absolute baseline for any type of project at all, is if you can compress the entire project into a file and send it out, you are good to go. Now, again, I don't always do that. I'm a little lazy sometimes, I'll fully admit, but I always regret every single time I start a project and don't do it this way, because it will kill you in the long run. Okay? Another major thing too off the top of this, of course, is programs and having consistent programs and projects together. So if everybody is working in a program like DaVinci, for example, which I'm working in at the moment, you probably want to have everybody work over in DaVinci. But let's pull up, one sec, did I have anything else on this here? Assets, no, we're good. Okay, we'll pull up DaVinci. It's gonna slow down my computer like crazy, but that's fine. We'll give it a go. Okay, so a lot of programs will have the ability to put their own information in their own containers. DaVinci is one of them. I think actually I think literally every video editing program out there has it. And so you do have your projects inside your project folder inside the program that you're using. And most people, they think this is organization. Okay, the vast majority of people, they're like, I have all my projects in my project list. This is good to go. Well, it works for you on your one computer, but how does it work across every single other computer that you add it onto? How, like, just because, well, this list is a list of all the locations in your computer and just in your computer. Well, this is where we want to start building templates. And templates, well, technically, we already did build a template. This document folder that we structured together with all of our assets, docs, final render, and other, right? This is technically a template, but now we're going to be creating per program templates. So I'm going to start a new project, and we're going to call this stream demo template. Any program, guys. I'm not even joking. Even if it comes to photo editing or audio editing, any Adobe editing program, any video, whatever. I used to use I used to use Vegas Pro. It doesn't matter. You want to set up your templates. And I'm not going to go over the specifics of building templates here inside DaVinci itself, but you always want to know, like you see, I'm starting dead from a standard nothingness template. Well, if I always want to have something like, let's put our icon on there. Let's go our assets, images. We'll stick our new icon in there. Let's say I always want my icon to be on the screen, but I want it to be top left, or I want it to be in a specific location that I don't know. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to move it down there. Boom. We have our new logo. Let's say I want to have it as transparent. We're going to set it up as transparent. So we're going to grab the opacity, break that down, and save. Okay. What I also do too, we're going to go save project as. Stream demo template copy save. Is it going to give me a location? It's been a while since I've done this. Sorry guys. 1 second here. Save project as, cancel. Are you going to give me it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, this is where we do everything. Can't remember. Stream demo. So I'm not even going to look it up. Oh man, I might have screwed myself up here. It's been a while since I've made templates. Either way, okay. We're just going to consider that file sitting around, but just to show everybody, if I want to start a new project, at least I have my template up there. DaVinci Resolve. So I close my project down. I open it up. I want to start a new project with that that setup, that template, that whatever. We'll wait till it loads. Come on, let's go. And there we have my stream template copy. Now I click on this. I'm in. My thing's in the corner, and I can go in and take whatever video I want from my video share folder. Let's use recording. Right, boom. And then now you guys can see the bottom left corner, we have my icon. But then we also have all the video content running in the background. I would like to talk a little bit about workflows inside programs. Now, never assume that your workflow is perfect, and always look up new workflows. There's so many times where I spent weeks doing something that could have been done in one or two clicks in every single program. And I literally mean every single program. I've used FL Studios. I don't want to bring that up actually. It's gonna mess with my audio drivers. If you're dealing with photo programs, figure out the shortcuts for that program. Cool. Sorry. That will, whenever you want to do something, look it up and see if someone has done it faster. Because you can hinder yourself by getting attached to workflows, getting attached to the way that you put your content together, which I'm not even joking. I have tried to help a lot of people, and I've actually had a lot of people ask me for help. And then I go, well, how do you do this? And they're like, well, I do it this way. And I go, well, you can do it a faster way. And they go, I like this way. Now, there always is a best way to build content. There always is a best way. People will say that there's a million different other ways. Yes, there are a million ways to create content. There are a million tools out there. But when you're using one specific tool, there always will be the fastest way to put that content together. So don't hesitate to go look it up. Don't have too big of an ego to go look it up. Because it frustrates me, and I know a lot of people who have tried and failed their content creation, mostly because they refuse to learn, or they got too attached to doing things in the way that they want to do them. So don't get attached to an unsuccessful workflow more than anything else. That is like fail faster is a good phrase, is a common I guess, not ideology, what is it? A common method, right? Failing faster understanding when you've done something the slow way, or at least always thinking you do it the slow way. I always think I do it the slow way, because now there's some things I do that take minutes that used to take hours. So anyways, okay, so I think this goes over the basics of like direct content creation from a large overview in terms of the technology, what your expectations should be, what your objectives should be for this type of content creation with the technology. Like, that's what I wanted to focus on right now with the technology. I need a few seconds here, guys, to go to the bathroom to have another drink break, and I will come back we'll be doing a part 2 in about 5-10 minutes, probably a little less than 10 minutes. I'll be here in about 5 minutes, but we'll start in about 10 minutes. We'll do a section on story creation, on live performance. I have done a lot of live performance in my life, a lot of improv in my life. So structuring the times when I've failed at it are the times that I haven't structured my performances properly, or even like there's a weird, I'm not gonna go in, we'll go on later, but there's a weird mix between having fun versus having between having fun and being entertaining, and we'll go over that, like I say, guys, in about 10 minutes here. I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute water break. For YouTube, guys, if you watch the whole thing, and even guys for on Twitch, this will be going up to YouTube a little later, please subscribe to the channel too. I'm doing all sorts of stuff online, all sorts of media content online right now, trying out different avenues, and there'll be more information, more fun stuff hidden in my streams there. So check it out. Sulack streams on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I will be back in just a quick minute. I'm dying. All right. All right, all right. We are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Sorry about the small break. It has to happen. Doing an hour of talking about stuff. Does that to your voice? Welcome back in, everybody. Just making sure we are good to go here. I gotta do something about the hair. It never likes. It's getting to that point where I'm old and the hair just kind of like flips around, does whatever fuck it wants. Too thin, you know. Okay. All right. All right. So we just ripped really quickly over the ins and outs of digital media. Very, very quickly. I know there is a lot there that we could add. There's a lot more information that can be extracted, but I think in terms of just understanding the digital ins and outs, the computer world, that will give everybody enough direction to at least start content creation, or at least start the media part. Now, we're going to look a little bit into storytelling. We're going to look a little bit into the creation of content from the perspective of a streamer or from the perspective of an entertainer in any way. Give me 1 second. Let me get these burps out, because I feel like I'm going to burp a little more. For some reason, the water, it's just water. I don't know why. Maybe I'm allergic to water. We will start up. I'll do my little intro in a second for the second segment of the content creation video. Okay. All right, welcome back, everybody. This would be part 2 of my 2-part off-the-cuff content creation, media creation, discussion tutorial. This isn't even a tutorial. It's just more of an overview of all the different things that you should know about when getting into media creation. We did talk about file systems, workflows, just kind of the mindset you should have when creating any form of content, how to put together at least how to think about putting together bits of content, and of course what types of software that you should probably be using on the regular if you don't have access to high-end pro pieces of software, or even if you do have access to them, and you maybe have extra machines and whatnot that you want to try to use them on, or even might need to use them for. I don't know. There's lots of reasons why you would use different pieces of software than your professional tools. So check it out there. So what does it mean to be a content creator in terms of the creation of the story of what you are putting out? Whoa, that's a bit of a mouthful to say. But whenever you are introducing people, introducing people to some form of content, to some form of story, you have to be able to give them an introduction, right? You have to be able to give them some form of world building, and you also have to give them some form of so that they're invested into whatever you're doing. The intro is often significantly more important than the end, the outro. We could say, actually, I was going to say that it affects the entire quality, but no, I think in general, as long as you have a really, really good intro, people will retain or keep watching whatever video or whatever content you're doing, whatever play, whatever presentation you're doing, if they feel like there's going to be valuable information inside all of the boring stuff that you're doing. So if I, for example, if I'm going to be talking about washing dishes, now I could come up to you and I could talk, I could go, well, you want to put the dishes in the wash, you want to scrub the dishes, and you want to put them in the washing machine, and then you want to take them out and put them on the drying rack. Boring. Nobody cares at all. Why would you care just about describing dishes? Well, let me reframe it for you. Let me pull this out. We're going to do a little bit of marketing, but also more of storytelling. Because this is my video about dishwashing. And I want you to be invested in my video about dishwashing, even if it is a boring subject. Because what's the difference between a dishwashing video that anybody makes and a dishwashing video that you make, right? Well, disease and germs have been the #1 cause of death in humanity for thousands of years. We like to establish that we are some of the cleanest and healthiest places to eat in the city. We pride ourselves on making sure that every single little bit of grease gets off of the plate. So how do our dishwashing specialists stand out from other dishwashers around the city? Well, we use very specific dishwashing methods that are exclusive to our establishment that I hope to teach you today to not just become an expert at dishwashing, but hopefully when you go home, you make your house a cleaner place. You make cleaner dishes and your family lives a better, happier, healthier life. Got you guys interested a little bit, didn't I? Hopefully, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be anything amazing. Or anything. Well, of course I did I guess I did flower it up a little bit, but it doesn't have to be about anything amazing. I've heard a lot too, and I've seen this, and you guys know who you are, but also too, I hear this all the time from groups that are not even the people that are probably going to be watching this. They're like, oh, this thing is boring. This thing sucks. This thing is like, or this game is boring, or this situation is boring. Well, as the entertainer, that's not the viewer's problem. That's your problem. Your job as the entertainer, as the storyteller, is to create a world and an environment where the person is looking at the same things that you're looking at, where the viewer has their attention focused on the same thing that the expert has their attention on. For the average person, a hill of ants is just a hill of ants. But for David Attenborough and his documentary team, that anthill is a thriving colony, is a potential for life to show itself in a much more beautiful way, right? They take your face, they squish it, and they go, look at this thing, look at this thing, look at this thing. And you're like, I can't look anymore. Look at the ants. Look at how cool the ants are, right? And you're forced to do that because you're in the video footage itself. We're not going to talk about the specifics of what is a framed shot, we're not going to go into that stuff because there's hundreds of videos out there that will tell you how you should be shooting a documentary, how you should be shooting a romantic video, a romantic movie, how you should be shooting a comedy, how you should be shooting an action. There are those videos out there, but I want you guys sitting back and thinking about how you're introducing your audience to the environment. I'm gonna bring up a let's go look at some YouTube videos. We're gonna bring up some Minecraft YouTubers as an example, because Minecraft, honestly guys, Minecraft is like one of the most boring goddamn games out there. How is it boring? Well, the actions are relatively boring, okay? But the environment, if you subscribe to the larger story that is Minecraft, you absolutely will be invested in the world. That's why Minecraft players get into it. Like, the individual moment-to-moment Minecraft play kind of sucks. But let's just take a look at, I don't know, Hermitcraft. And let's pick something boring. Is there something boring we can select? Any video, I don't really care. Whatever, let's just... Oh, behind the scenes? Nope.
Every single time I go into F5 mode, I forget that I've got the crown and then get very quickly reminded that I have the crown. Hello, by the way. Welcome to Hermitcraft. This crown talk actually reminds me, I haven't checked up on the button in a very long time. The good thing is, because everyone's been using...
Now, one can argue right away that Hermitcraft is an incredibly interesting SMP. That's true. It is an interesting SMP. But it's the same SMP as literally every other Minecraft player out there. Oh, why is the water doing this to me? The world is interesting because these YouTubers are setting up environments to allow for people to be invested in the story. You can see right away he starts off with something
I've got the crown and then get very quickly reminded that I have the crown.
But why does he have the crown?
Hello, by the way. Welcome to Hermitcraft.
Oh, hi. Cool.
This crown talk actually reminds me, I haven't checked up on the button in a very long time.
Wait, what is the button?
Good thing is, because everyone's been using Decked Out, in theory, this area should have been quite unloaded. So yeah, it looks like the button is still alive. How has it managed to pull this off? It's doing well. Now, do I want the 3 diamonds or shall I leave it for a diamond block?
Right? Now he's asking questions. He's setting up the environment. This world was literally just hills and Minecraft stuff. It's literally just Minecraft stuff. A crown on your head isn't too interesting. A button is literally not interesting at all. But notice how the entire video itself, he's framing, he's setting up for things that are interesting. He's saying, these are all the things that I'm thinking about. Because in theory, the video content creator could just say whatever he wants and go over whatever he like, or just walk through and be like, oh, that's stuff, yeah. But no, when he's creating a video, every single thought, and this is where people don't like influencers and content creators in some way, because every single thought gets blurted out of their mouth. But when you're creating a video, when you are the entertainer, that is your job. You need to frame everything. I want you guys to see how even when I pull something up, even when I pull an article up, I would like to, let's just create a new tab together. Let's go to ChatGPT together. Let's go watch YouTube videos. Oh, do I see anything interesting on the YouTube video or YouTube channel today? Is there anything new? I'm not just going, no, I'm inviting you guys along with me. It is, I don't see anything interesting here right now. Let's scroll down a little bit and see if there's any videos that catch our eye or any thumbnails that catch our eye. I'm noticing, you know, like those donuts make me hungry, but I don't know if I want to watch a video about donuts. And I feel like this is not really the time to watch Minecraft videos, but, oh, Jack's Films. He's a great content creator. Let's pause for a second. I love this guy. So I want you guys really to notice how I'm bringing everybody along for the ride as I'm walking us through all of the content that's here. Every single clip. Now I'm bored. Let's close the window, or let's just go back and see what else is there, right? The descriptions matter, because if I'm sitting here going,
tonight, the most intense day of fighting.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and welcome to whatever I decide to title this video. I'll be covering
It's boring. It's not worth it, right? You don't see what I'm doing. You don't break down anything. Like, you don't have any idea about the content that I'm attempting to bring you on. So make sure that you are always structuring your content. Even when you're recording it, really think about what phase, what area are you in? Are you in the introduction phase? Are you in the what is it? Okay, hold on. There's the story story arc template. Yeah, there we go. Story arc template. Exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. We can define those inside our descriptions. Exposition. Hi guys, we're the whatever team. We're working together to build a base through this and survive the night. It's going on and whatever. Let's go out into the universe. Let's go out into the wild and we'll figure out what's going on. Rising action. Think about my stream. Hi guys, I'm Sulack. We're going to be talking about blah, 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 blah. Walking through blah, 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 blah. rising action. Let's build into something. Let's look at the content that we're creating. Here's the individual apps. Here's the individual programs, right? What do we have to do to survive the night? What enemy do we have to fight? And then suddenly here's the challenge, the conclusion, this is what's going on. This is how, like, I at the end of the last little segment that we did, I'm trying to give you the full break of like why file management, why understanding folders and types and everything is so important. I'm doing that to set myself up for a strong storyline every single time. It's hard because when you're streaming too, falling action happens everywhere and you go up and down and up and down. And it's hard when you think you should be pacing up and something kills the momentum, but you are the entertainer. You have to keep that momentum up. So I really want to point out too, another thing that we don't like, it's hard to, well, really think about what the viewer is watching, what the viewer sees in front of you. When I'm pulling up content, and even when I'm playing a game, I'm trying to frame everything as clearly as possible. There's quite a few times, and especially too, doing some stuff with Culprit, who's in chat there. I don't know if he's still lurking or not. But there's quite a few times where he's playing with a viewer and the viewer just does something really quick and everybody else is like, what just happened? We have no idea what happened. Well, I try and make it so that like Culprit is there with me, and Culprit's trying to too, obviously, right? We're trying to like be a part of the thing that's going on, but the average viewer doesn't think about that. When we're playing games, you have to think, is it worth that I point the camera towards the monster, or do I point the camera towards the team? Or like when you are the cameraman, right? I am the cameraman right now, even though we're working with a 2D environment and this is my desktop and we're just clicking through stuff. As the cameraman, my job is to frame everything in your video footage in such a way that you follow along what I'm thinking about and the type of experience that I'm trying to put together. Okay. Now, I think it's a quick little overview just on descriptions and entertainment. Now, you don't... Obviously, sometimes, too, just the asterisks, on describing things, you sometimes want to let other people describe things. So let's say you are with a group. Can I pick... Is there a good interviewer? For example, Joe Rogan, okay? Some of you might not like it, but whatever. I love what he has out there. Joe Rogan does an excellent job at pulling somebody's natural responses out from them. It is really hard when you're playing a game and when you're building something together, or you're working together as a group in some form of presentation, and you realize that a person is relatively closed or not responding to you. I'm not going to bring up too many clips, or actually I'm not going to bring up any clips, but just a visual example so a lot of you know. Like, you know, you want other people to talk. It's really important to get other people to talk. It's really, really important that everybody is in the game. I do scraps, I do these wonderful game fights all the time, and to me, I judge my success by how much people are talking in game, how much people are interacting, because that is part of the content. That is part of why people are there, is to hear people interact with each other and bounce off each other. So keep in mind too, while you are describing, I'm going to be clicking through here, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing this. If you're in a voice channel with somebody else, step back, let them talk. Prep them, even some way, give them a little bit of push into the topic that you want them to talk about, or a push into the topic that they want to talk about. They just don't know how to introduce themselves. Reading the room, basically. Reading the room is like such a good skill, and it works with some people, it doesn't work with others. You just kind of have to learn and feel it out over time. And you'll hear, sometimes you'll really hear when someone wants to speak, but they don't know when to speak. So you can go, hey, I think this person wanted to say something, or you mentioned something really interesting. Can you describe that a bit more? And that will pull something out. Or you could imagine, I think there's a wonderful game out too called, there's a wonderful game called Lethal Company out there recently. Let's say and you'll know this even if you haven't played the game. Let's say all the rest of the players are out doing something and you're alone. And then when everybody comes back together, just ask them to describe what happened to them, because your viewers don't know what happened to people when they left. So when they come back, you're like, oh, what happened? And the person's like, I got jumped. And then if that's all they're saying, Be like, well, what did you get jumped by? What type of monster? How did you escape? How did you do this? And then you get to build out a story from there that creates a comfortable environment for everybody listening. That's why Joe Rogan's so successful. Okay, that is literally it. This is the reason. Is he is very good at asking questions and getting people to provide the content, getting people to provide their thoughts. So don't be that person that's just like me. I'm doing this. I'm clicking this. I'm bouncing this. Because yes, yeah, that could work. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just not a very socially good thing, and it's also really hard to go back and edit and go back and change things up when you're constantly trying to like juggle voices back and forth. People are talking over each other. So silence is really, really important on the end, but also to enabling someone to make you silent. I always think it's a good thing when I'm on stream, I'm talking with people and someone takes off. Unless we're trying to do something else, then we have to be like, hold on, let's get it there. But keep that in mind with the content. Post-production. Okay. Post-production is exceptionally important. What it means is that it's part of the workflow, but it means that when you finish doing your project, or when you finish working on that section of the project, you go back and you label everything. You mark everything down. You set it up correctly, possibly the first time, but you want to make sure that you've concluded your work for the day in some form of note, in some form of layout, in something. Because if you don't have some kind of post-production workflow, you are screwed. And not just for like I don't even know. Let me revoke that sentence or take that sentence back. Most of the time when you're finished doing anything at all, that thing is still fresh in your mind. So if I have, for example, if I'm going out and I'm recording something that day, what I'll often do, and this is just my post-production workflow, is I'll go in and I'll change the names of everything to either the date or some kind of context. Assets for test video. Okay. What is this? What's the test video? Assets for test video. Let's rename that. Assets for test video done on training on multimedia media, whatever, training stream. Training stream. Okay. This is going to be all of your post-production workflows. This matters because when you go to a platform like YouTube, or when you go to upload anything at all, the structure of your information will define how easy it is to get everything up there. And I'm not even kidding. It can come down to, I copy text from one place to another. My workflow is pretty simple. And I'll show you guys actually from kind of like my post-production mindset. Okay. Everything starts in recording. All of my recordings, they all have dates. You can see a lot of them too have names. Scrub Place Minecraft, Scrub Place Lobby, Balanced Games versus Diverse Play Styles, Scraps Big Tanks. There's a whole bunch. Now a lot of this is raw, right? But I've gone in and I edit the raw descriptions. Once I have those together, right? And I have the videos together. So this is post-production after the recording, but also once we put the video together itself, I will actually put the name of the video in the actual title of the file. If I go into my, where is it? Let's go Scrub Club Media. We can actually move these in. This is where it matters. I'll show why in a second, quite a bit. If I go into Scraps, let's just move that through, right? I have every single video here with a proper title. And that means I can go back in time and actually find that title. It does, you can actually put emojis and stuff like that. I don't know if everybody knows that inside your file types. So to match, I will literally match my file name with the name of the video. Well, let's swap it out. Switch accounts. Scrub Club Media. Oh, we got another sub. Nice. Content. So if you take a peek, all of these have like emojis in them, Well, those are direct copy and paste of the file here. So that means later on, if I for some reason need to go in and edit files or change things around, I have a direct one-to-one comparison with the files that I've thrown up there and the files that I have in my folder. Backing everything up is really important too. You have to have some kind of workflow that brings it from one storage to another. YouTube is okay. Hey Ben over on YouTube, how you doing? Welcome in. We're wrapping up, or it's not wrapping. I think I've still got a few minutes left of things to talk about content creation. This will be going up at the YouTube channel, so check it out there, Ben, if you want. But hello, welcome on YouTube. Because I have this full history here, it makes it really easy for me to find what I need to find when I gotta have a specific time. So let's say I want to find, I don't know, characters where videos where I change the size, mystery hero size. I can go big. We can find all the videos about big stuff. We can find health videos. Should every hero have more health? Do half tanks, right? This post-production, post-creation allows me to easily manage every single video that I have. And you'll even see too inside my this is the YouTube upload folder. I have the different channels here. Now, of course, there's a lot of crap, as my stuff usually is, which I have to go in and fix up. Not going to worry about that right now. This is all just asset stuff where I've dumped it in here and still has to be organized. But this properly organizing and naming your folders and photos and video and whatever it is can actually tell other systems what you are doing. Wait, Sulack streams YouTube Shorts. Oh, I actually moved some stuff in here I shouldn't. I'm going to have to go through and fix this later. But if we go into our Shorts, you can see there's like a hashtag scraps, hashtag Overwatch 2. If I upload these directly to YouTube, then YouTube will recognize them with that tag as a short and quickly move it over to a YouTube short. This isn't the way it is for every single video out there, but it's the workflow that I have for this platform. The post-production workflow. How am I getting things from A to B? I'll point this out as just another setup. This is where, and you guys get a little sneak preview of the next thumbnail. This is where I would be creating all of my thumbnails, all of my titles and descriptions. This is where I'm breaking down every single concept. And adding all the extra things onto the video, right? Depends on the platform that you're putting it on. You could be TikToking it, and then so you have to just do a quick description or tags. YouTube, it's tags, thumbnail, description, all that. Have that workflow down. Have that workflow down to I have this video or I have this website saved. This is part of my workflow. I have this system where I get tags. Even to a really big one, of course, is like is nowadays especially is AI content creation, and you don't need to pay for Midjourney or pay for ChatGPT if you need help. Those can be all parts of your workflow. Where is it? I can't remember how to get to it. Oh, there we go. You know, write me a description for my Minecraft YouTube video. Right now, oh, it's gonna do. Yeah, here's a sample description. Right, so this is AI nowadays, but back in the old days, it was literally, how do I workflow with another department to do these things? Where do I move this video in? Where do I move this content in to get all of this information added to your tools or your descriptions? For example, just so for those who haven't seen, the back end of YouTube is literally all this extra information. That is the time to make sure you're doing it in a smooth way. How do you fill these things out? How do you copy and paste into these fields? This changes over time. It's not specific to any one environment. And I know I'm talking a lot about the workflow stuff, but having this solid after workflow setup is super, super important. The last thing I'm going to go over here, which I'm not very very good at, I'll fully admit, but I think it's worth mentioning. Where is it? One second. Which is this section right here, is uploading an online distribution. Okay. Now, normally, and this is more of like it's gonna be more quick notes on the end of this. Well, first, as we mentioned with the workflow stuff, make sure all your tags are filled out. If you want your video to be found, it will not be found if you don't tag it properly. I know it seems so tedious to write a quick description and add tags and whatnot. Do it. Literally nobody will find your video unless you have tags. But when you're uploading your content, always make sure you can upload it in a higher quality than what you're able of doing. What does that mean? Well, if you, or what your video is at, sorry. If you, for example, I run everything in 1080, but I render out at 4K. Why? Because it retains a lot of the information that actually YouTube gets rid of. We don't realize this. When you upload a video to YouTube, YouTube goes through your whole video, strips out a whole bunch of stuff so it doesn't have to store it all, and then puts it up on the website in different like variations, different resolutions. So if you want your video to look as high quality as possible, or you want your images on any service to look as high quality as possible, always go the extra mile and push the quality just a little bit further. I will bring this up just as a last little thing with DaVinci Resolve, because I did mention quality in terms of images, but I want to end this out with just like understanding a little bit of quality in terms of what the viewer receives, because the viewer doesn't always receive the same quality that you upload. Is it going to load for me? Come on. Untitled project. Boom. I go deliver. On the left hand side, and on the majority of media creation tools, you will have all of these settings, and they are exceptionally intimidating. Okay. I always recommend being safe and going with a higher quality. If you don't know what you're doing at the very start, usually presets are the way to go. It's totally fine to go in here, pick a 720 and upload your content at 720. I would go for one a little higher. You do have to wait a bit longer for these things to go through. Doesn't matter again what program you're using. You have to wait a lot longer really for them to render. But on the final end, the user actually gets a lot higher quality. I'm just going to quickly paint out. We're going to use regular paint. We're going to quickly paint out just like how this works. We have your computer. We have Google's computer. And we have the customer's computer or the viewer's computer. All right. This starts in HD here. Okay. We push it out to Google's computer. Google drops the quality. We're going to go lower. Then I'm going to go Q. It drops the quality. Then it provides the dropped quality to the customer. Play. How do we avoid this? Well, we avoid this by uploading a Super HD or a Mega Super HD version, sorry. And then whatever service you're putting it on will lower the quality just a little bit. Just a little bit. But it won't lower it as low as normal, okay? Or at least they have more information that they can throw away. And that's really important. Now, the specifics of it, I'm not going to get into it as a detailed whatever is what it is. But just keep in mind when you are selecting these settings, oh, I just closed DaVinci anyways. When you are selecting the settings on DaVinci, that just try, or when you're selecting the settings on any video editing program or any image editing program, you're always better just going a little bit bigger, even if you gotta wait longer. Okay, so I hope this was a good, at least, overview of all of the different bits of content creation. I know we talked a lot about like what computers are and what the details are at the very start, but I think this is like really, I think we did at least go over everything that's needed to have a good idea when you're stepping your foot into any type of video recording, photo capturing, music creation, it doesn't matter. This is such a general overview too. This is such a surface level overview. If you do want to go into any specifics, there will be experts out there who will help you. There are forums out there where people have the answers, but also don't hesitate to ask me. I know I've got a lot of extra bullshit information in my head that I'm pretty sure you guys could pull out and get more from. So yeah, anyways, if you got, yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. I know it's gone a little bit long, but thank you guys so much for coming out. Of course, if you liked everything, actually, Culper just says if you don't have a foundation, then you're building a castle on sand. It can fall apart. Good stuff. Hopefully, Culprit, is there anything that I missed? If you think I've anything that I've like missed over the past stream, please tell me. Like I say, this is going up on YouTube as is. Maybe we'll do a little second section segment, something along the lines. And if you guys have friends or family that want to get into this kind of stuff, point them towards my YouTube channel. This will be going up in the Scrub Club. Oh my god, the Sulack streams. I'm just like defaulting back to my regular outro. But this will be going for the Sulack Streams YouTube channel, so check it out there. With everything else, there will be again more people that know a heck of a lot more than I do. So other than that, guys, I think we're pretty much good. So yeah, like and subscribe if you're if you're on YouTube, and I'm gonna kill the recording right here. But boom, recording's over. Okay, so YouTube or sort of Twitch and everybody else in the live stream, thank you guys a lot for coming out. I really do appreciate it. Oh, hiccups. That was a good multi-hour segment on content creation. If you missed any of it, it'll be going up fairly soon. Oh, I'm hiccuping. I need to go get myself some food. Something to snack, something to hang out, something to calm down, something to let my throat calm down as is. Culprit says, I think I should make it into bite-sized info. Yeah, I think shorts of some sort. Maybe we can go over this and actually do like a real professional output of this. I wanted to get it more out because, for example, Monty and a few of his friends have been really interested in content creation, and we have a Discord little chat together talking about it. Hey, Vexcore, how you doing? Welcome in. Hopefully you saw a bunch of this. If not, it'll be going up on like I say, the YouTube channel, so you can check it out there. But I appreciate you coming and saying hi. Throw me a follow if you haven't. You saw the end of it. All right, the rest of it will be going up. You'll be able to catch most of it. I need a little break. My throat is absolutely freaking killing me. New Fault, thank you so much. Welcome in. Welcome to the Scrub Club. Welcome to Sulack Streams. My Discord information is down below. That's how Monty got in. I have a whole bunch of stuff online. Check it out. We're gonna go raid out. We're gonna raid out to one of our good friends. Mully Gets Mad. I gotta do it every time. He's a good guy. Culprit introduced me to him online. He does do team fight tactics. I'm not sure if you guys are into that or not, but I do it anyways, like I say, because he's a good guy, a good pal. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. I will see you later. Of course, in the future, as we're doing, our live streams are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That is when we're going to be doing informational basic live streams. 12 o'clock, usually West Coast, maybe 1 o'clock West Coast if things are off for time. But you can come in here, check out any information that you want. This will be a relatively regular thing. And of course, too, we do Sunday Overwatch, Sunday Scrub Club Scraps. If you want to join, if you do play Overwatch, you are welcome to join us there. All right, guys. I will see you all later. I also didn't mention, which I forgot, because Culprit is a boss. Please go follow Culprit. He is the man. He is our man. He is our guy. He's been doing great. He's really pushing to do full-time streaming. He's really pushing to do full-time streaming, guys. So if you do have a Prime sub or something, just go over there, slip it in, give him a little bit of that. Give that loving, because he definitely deserves it. All right. GG's gamers. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. I will see you all on Friday.
Oh shit, Sulack with the, as he said, the daily raid been hitting me up a lot there. I appreciate that, bro. That was the stream. How'd it go? How'd it go? Fuck.
All right. For everybody else, other streams, GG's guys.
Goddamn Riven.